Some things here are.
Welcome, Some Things Podcast listeners. Here we are at episode 23. Today we're going to talk about some scented candles, Golden Globe results, and also we continue our hunt in the playoffs with the NFL. So, today I'm joined with my hosts, Luke and John. And we also have a special guest returning to us for the second time, our...
John Wiseman.
Woo! Yes, the other John.
The other John.
We got two JJs on. Which is going to be great later on for the entertainment portion, which we will get to later on.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, so how's everyone's week's been?
Solid.
Like a nice
It's been
deuce.
great.
I was about to say, yeah, solid like a deuce.
It's been great. It's been just as good as a deuce. I've been on vacation.
We're trying to get the quality of how good a deuce is, but all right, the relief of getting it out. I mean, I guess
Yes,
that's
what I'm referencing.
Okay.
Anyway, it's been great. I've been on vacation from school. I still got like 1 week left, and I've
Nice.
been building a longboard.
Building a longboard.
Like my own longboard. So I took the individual plies, glued them all together, cut out the shape. I'm still working on sanding it. I'll be staining it this week.
Right.
So
It's
it's
been
going
years
to be...
in the making, right? You grew the tree yourself, didn't you?
Yes.
You took care of it and everything.
I took care of
Nurtured
it. It was my baby. Like, it looked like Groot for a little bit, the little baby one. And then by the time I cut him down, he was screaming at me because he was like 7 years old.
That makes sense, yeah.
It was kind of sad. But I'm going to get a longboard out of it.
Well,
so
yeah,
it's
he's
great.
being used for better things.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about you, John?
Which one?
The listeners will never know.
That's true. My week's been all right. I'm trying to think of what I did this week. That tells me it wasn't that productive. I went to work.
Whoa.
Yeah. We all probably did.
Work typically happens.
In case you guys care, listeners, as far as wedding stuff goes, we're getting our invitations out this week finally, so I'm excited for that.
I need to give you my RSVP.
Yeah.
I would
you don't
hope
have
so.
to
I would
come.
hope so.
Yeah. I never
He is a
RSVP'd.
groomswoman after all.
I never RSVP'd for Peter's wedding. And I was the best man. So
Leave it to Luke.
thank goodness they saved me a spot.
I would have told you you couldn't come.
Would you really?
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't have.
Yeah, I would have.
Your best man?
Bet. I have no problem telling my brother he can't
Why?
like he doesn't RSVP.
Why?
Just for
What's
fun.
the practical reason?
There's no practical reason but to make me
Memories.
laugh.
There's no practical reason to RSVP either.
That's true. If you're part of the bridal party,
Yeah.
I would agree. Yeah.
Yeah,
still.
bridal party, yes, but RSVPing there is a practical reason. You
yeah.
get food.
Don't
and
get me
everything.
wrong. If you're a normal person going to a wedding that you're barely involved in, you're just there to watch, RSVP. But like a best man, why does he have to RSVP?
Because I said so. It's my wedding. Deal with
That's
it.
outrageous. I've got it filled out already, so you can take it.
gonna hand
How's
it
your
off.
week been, John?
Well, it's better than the
Also,
Baltimore
we're going John
Ravens.
too first.
Baltimore Ravens.
Better than Baltimore Ravens right
Hey,
now.
it's not sports yet.
But no, it's been good. Just got an interview on Thursday and I got the job. So
Nice,
right
nice.
on the
Hey,
spot. So
what's the job?
You don't have to say where you're going to be working because we
He's
don't want
a
any kind of company
midnight
lawsuit. But
stripper.
no,
I believe it.
but no, it's refrigeration tech. So I'm finally
Nice,
getting
nice.
that started and everything. So hopefully soon I can go. But I just got back from vacation. I went to the Caribbean, so that was fun and everything. Nice
Alright.
little tan and everything.
Yeah,
So,
you did come back a little darker.
a little bit.
Some chocolate text. John, you need to go over. Okay, both Johns
Yeah.
are
What about you, Dylan? We're
I'm
waiting
Dylan.
on you.
I'm already so not focused and paying attention because I was trying to pull other things up for later on. But no, my week's been it's been okay. Work got really low. I mean, for as bad as it was during all the overtime hours we had, like it got so low to the point where it's like there wasn't enough work in the warehouse for everyone to stay a consistent 8 hours.
Dang.
So yeah, I'm like
Total opposite of
Yeah.
the holidays.
Yeah, exactly. I had to take some days off unpaid because I don't have a lot of PTO yet, so that kind of sucked. But me and Sarah earlier on in the week, we actually went to go give blood because they were live stream was running a special where you could, if you had O blood specifically, you could go in, donate, get a $10 Amazon gift card, and also and a T-shirt, which I'm currently wearing right now. So
I
maybe
have old blood.
You should have gone then.
I should have.
You're costing people their lives. Someone died because you didn't go.
Dude, that's sad.
That's not true. Plenty of other people go. I don't give blood. I don't feel like I'm killing anyone.
Nobody wants your blood, John. No, but oh yeah, so it was, it was pretty crazy because
so mad at me. Good lord.
I gotta make it entertaining. But okay,
They
so
love it when we get mad at you.
That's true.
at him or just at each other?
At John.
Oh, okay,
Either
I would
John.
have
Which
said
John?
anybody.
Either John.
Okay, so you
John,
got a
John.
T-shirt. You have O blood.
Yes,
You're better than me, apparently.
Of course, because I'm O positive. But no, okay, so it was pretty crazy though when we went to go donate blood, right? So usually we go through the whole process. They give you their little questionnaire thing to make sure you don't have AIDS or some kind of virus that that's going to get transfused in the blood and everything.
Do you have AIDS or some sort of virus?
I got tested before I got married. I do not have any sexual diseases, so
Good for you,
congratulations, me. But yeah, so we go through the whole questionnaire. We go down, and usually I actually finish donating my blood sooner than Sarah does. But this particular time, it was taking a longer time for my blood to come out for some reason. I just don't know if I didn't have enough water. I mean, they tested my levels early on. They said I was fine. But yeah, it just wasn't coming out quick. So Sarah finished before me. My bad. Sarah finished before me, and as she's sitting down, she's waiting for me to finish up. And so they have you stay for another 15 minutes or so to make sure that you're okay to drive, okay to go home, or whatever after you get rid of your blood. And as we go to sit down, I finish up mine, and she had already been done for the last 10 minutes or so while my bag was still filling up. I go to sit down, and I'm just getting some snacks. She starts feeling dizzy, and I'm like, what the heck's going on? And so she's like, yeah, I'm seeing spots right now. I need to lay down.
She's
So
pregnant.
No, she is not.
Oh, I was about to say, what?
Look, we didn't put that on our Christmas list, all right?
Luke's gonna be an uncle.
But yeah, so she starts getting super dizzy and she's like about to pass out. So I'm like, I get one of the attendants over, like, hey, my wife's about to faint over here. And so she laid down. They got her like cool towels and everything. They had her drink some juice to get her sugar levels up and everything. And so she's laying there just kind of resting and recuperating. As we're there, going through our process, there's another older lady there who's, she's a little heavy set and everything else. But the whole time, at first when she was sitting in the chair to give blood, she was complaining to one of the techs, hey, how experienced are you? I want to make sure because my veins are kind of hard to find. I don't want anyone stabbing me a bunch of times, which, I can sympathize with that. I don't want to get poked and pricked several times over. Just find the vein the one time and, let it be that. But so, at first I was okay with her doing that. But then the whole time she just keeps complaining about oh, I guess they can't take my blood. I don't have enough of it. Blah, just this lady was going on a curmudgeon tantrum or whatever. But then as I'm sitting there waiting for Sarah, she's laying down on a bench. All of our stuff is at one small table. There's only 2 or 3 seats per table. I'm sitting down watching my stuff, watching Sarah's stuff. This lady, there's 3 or 4 of the tables. She specifically comes to sit down next to us. And I'm just like, oh gosh, this is going to be great. And so the whole time she's sitting there and she's just looking over and she starts grabbing all the snacks off the table, all the peanuts, the chips, the cookies, just filling up her to-go bag. I'm just like,
That's not cool.
yeah, I'm just like, what the heck? And she's just filling it all up. And then she looks over and notices that me and Sarah got our Amazon cards and t-shirts. And she's like, well, hey, how come they got t-shirts and this and I didn't get anything? And it's like, well, we're doing a special right now. And she's like, oh, I guess it's playing favoritism. Or but she starts going.
She just stole their snack
Dude,
inventory.
yeah, she's stealing all their snacks going in. And these ladies, I felt so bad because it's one of the ladies, she's trying to do her best to accommodate this woman and her just I said, her evil tantrum. And she's just do you want juice? Do you want snacks? Do you want coffee or whatever? And so she's making her coffee. She's like, yeah, I'll get some coffee to go. Or she's like, or no, that's what it was. Because she's like, do you want some coffee? And the lady's like, you don't have hot cocoa? I'm just like, no, we don't have hot cocoa, but I can get you. It's like, okay, fine, I'll take some coffee. I would have liked hot cocoa, but it's like, lady,
She knows it's voluntary, right?
Yeah, you don't have to be here.
It's not a restaurant. They're
dude, I'm telling you, she had to have taken at least 2 of everything. And like I said, there's saltine planters, there's those grandma cookies that come in 2 a pack, all kinds of chips. She just went ham on them, and then still was just complaining the whole time. It's just like, lady, I get that you weren't able to give blood for whatever reason, but just calm down.
Dude, you're wearing the shirt.
I said that.
Oh,
He did say that.
well, I saw it. So,
Did
Yeah.
those cookies smell good?
Well, they weren't fresh baked, but grandma cookies are always delicious.
That's true.
Yeah,
Speaking of smelling good things,
Oh man, okay. So I don't know.
we're going to talk about some scented candles.
Yeah, so oh my gosh, I don't know about you guys if you've seen this article, but it could almost be go into the entertainment portion because this is MCU slightly related because Gwyneth Paltrow apparently has a company that puts out all kinds of weird products. Let's just say that. But apparently her company decided to put out a vagina scented candle. Her and her I don't know, you call him a producer or co-creator of whatever this concoction was. They got together and they start adding in all these different scents and stuff, and they go to smell it and they're like, this smells like a vagina. And they decided to like, all right, we'll put it out there. And
Of course, people will buy it because of all the feminists and
it's sold out.
nonsense. Yeah.
The vagina scented candle has sold out for Gwyneth Paltrow's and Luke's
When are they
reaction.
gonna make a wiener one?
Fermunda cheese candle.
I cannot tell you how angry I will be when I walk into somebody's house and that's the smell.
Oh my god.
Happy Valentine. Take a bubble bath.
What if
There's your candles.
what if you get a white elephant gift as a vagina scented candle?
That would be the funniest white elephant.
I will quit White Elephant.
You can't know.
Dude, it's
I will quit forever. I will be like,
You know someone's gonna steal from you. You wouldn't have to quit.
gosh, man.
That's
Someone's
true.
gonna steal that? I don't. Who wants to steal that candle?
John
How
does.
much you want to bet someone's gonna steal that?
If someone steals that candle, I'm like blocking them on Facebook because I don't want to go in their house. Like if you're stealing vagina
That's
scented
what I'm
candles,
saying,
like
like-
you're weird. Something's going on there.
I will be angry if that is the candle of choice.
Oh gosh. Yeah, so that I didn't know what to think. I'm like, how do you react to that? Like just, like of all the smells you could have put out there, that didn't need to be one. I'm sorry, it just didn't. Ugh. But I can kind of lighten the mood though with that, more MCU news. I know I keep bringing that up, but we're still in the random portion.
Is it MCU
MC
news?
We should just call it MC News.
MC News.
MC News. But kind of. All right. So I don't know about you guys, but I have vivid dreams. Right. So it's like it'll be super in
vagina
depth.
candles.
No, God, no, not about vagina candles. I'm not about that life. But no. So okay.
Because you're gay.
What?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll let you move on.
Oh man, no, but yeah. So anyway, I have super vivid dreams, and like sometimes you can have those dreams that are like they almost seem like they're based in reality, right? Like it's nothing too obscene, nothing too crazy to where like people have superpowers or whatever else, and like it feels like you're awake in reality. And so I actually had a dream where it was me and Sarah were at our house, and we have my family over specifically. And, everyone's coming to the front door. We're, like, having a party gathering of some kind. And they're like, oh, hey, we got someone we want to introduce you to. And I'm just like, okay, cool, like, whatever. I figured they were just bringing, a family friend along, someone I didn't know about. And freaking in walks Robert Downey Jr., of all people. And I
Freaking in.
just walks freaking in.
Wow.
But yeah, so he walks in the front room and everything, and I just jaw drop everything. I'm just like, oh my gosh. And he's like, he literally just does like the Robert Downey Jr. thing. He's like, like, because obviously I already know who he is, but he's just like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm Robert Downey Jr. Like just having fun with it. I'm just like, yeah, I know who you are. You're Iron Man. You're freaking Iron Man. Like, then I'm like nerding out. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what do I do? Like, I have Robert Downey Jr. in my house. Like, why is he here? And so just like, he's like, oh yeah, I got a couple things to show you. And so he takes me outside to our garage where like the garage doors open up, and he apparently gifts me and Sarah this like brand new car, like a luxury car. I don't know if it was a Lexus, whatever, but had like a custom style paint job where it had like MCU characters all over it, and then like Iron Man right on the hood and everything. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is freaking amazing. He's like, oh yeah, I got another gift for you. And another car comes up our driveway, like it's like this nice SUV, again, another luxury type car, just gives us that and everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm like the whole time I'm just like I'm like bawling my eyes out because I'm like, this is amazing. This because again the dream felt so real. I'm like, this is actually happening right now. And then he also pulls out his checkbook and he's like, hey, I want you to like turn your not turn your life around, but like I want to gift you this to like help. Yeah, like
Bad.
I'm not like a drug dealer or something, but he's like, yeah, I want to just like give you guys an opportunity to like really start start your life out on the right foot kind of thing. Like you guys do so much for other people. Like I want to just be able to bless you. Your family reached out to me and everything, and so I just start bawling in my driveway. I'm like, oh my gosh, no one's given me so much before. Like just crying my eyes out, and then I wake up and I'm like, no, go back to the dream. Go back to the dream.
This was a dream.
Yeah, sadly.
Question: did his checkbook have the Marvel characters on it?
It did. I did pay attention to that too, like because like I said, he gives us a blank check of just like look, go buy a house, like again, like get everything financially ready, like go start a family, whatever else. And he's just like, I want to help you guys out. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I was starstruck and awestruck of everything going on in this dream. It was just freaking amazing.
The check actually says "I love you 3000."
Yes. But yeah,
This is why Iron Man's better than Captain America.
Oh,
Don't argue. No.
Debate for another time. But yeah, so that was my first dream. The second dream, after I tried to go back into that reality, which I wish was so real.
Wait, these were in the same night?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Well, I guess same morning, depending on if you want to get technical with it. But anyway, yeah. So I go back to sleep, and I end up going into like the live action Mulan world. And so, like, yeah, seems crazy,
It's not
right?
even out yet.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm just like,
How do
So
you
it's-
know what it looks like?
well, I mean, they have trailers. I mean,
Yeah,
you kind
really?
of, yeah, you see
Oh,
like you
yeah,
see
they
like
have
the
trailers.
you see like
Yeah.
the temples and stuff like that. So yeah, I just immediately go to sleep and I go in right, like I said, immediately right into this world where it's just like Mulan's there and like we're like I wasn't even like necessarily the main focus. I was kind of like just an assistant off to the side more or less. So like Mulan gets accused of something, they're gonna like put her in jail or like she's fighting off who the villains are, but it didn't necessarily play along the plot of what the trailers are showing. It was like a different villain or a different bad guy she was fighting, and so they start chasing her down. You know, she's battling a couple of them. Excuse me, man, I'm really gassy for some reason.
Same.
I forgive you.
Thank you. But yeah, so she starts fighting a couple people, and so like I'm realizing she's about to get overwhelmed. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go help her out. I just grab a staff off to the side, and I'm just like, all right, I'm in the game now. Like, let's go. And so me and her, like, I don't even know if it was like like magic or whatever else, but we're because okay, you ever watch Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and how like they would jump and like leap huge
Yeah.
bounds and stuff. Me and her are like hopping onto top of these like Chinese style houses and everything. Like I don't know what you call them.
It's like in Halo multiplayer where you turn off the gravity.
Yeah, and like you
Yeah.
guys gonna just like pretty much fly through the air, and so like we're jumping on buildings, fighting off these other villains and bad guys throughout the whole thing, and then like so I'm helping her out, and then they start paying attention, like, oh, this other guy's pretty good too. We got to take him out, and so like they bring in another like specialization squad that like for some reason they have ninja stars. I know ninjas are a Japanese thing, but whatever else, like they start coming at us, but I'm just like I'm knocking a few away and like deflecting them, and then like again we're just beating the crap out of these guys. I'm like, heck yeah, I'm saving China right now. I'm doing pretty good at it. But so it's just like one of those again these vivid awesome dreams that I have where I'm just like I love my dream life. It's really amazing.
Let me guess. She actually came up to you. She goes, "I want to make a man out of you, huh?" She was
I
like,
didn't-
"Yeah,
we
I'll
didn't-
make a man out of you."
We didn't get that far, all right.
Did you wear a kimono?
I don't. It wasn't a kimono, but yeah, we did have like again, it was like a Chinese style robe or whatever, like to where it was like top half, and then I had like some.
I think kimonos are Japanese.
I think
That is another Japanese
Yeah.
thing, but
Yeah.
well, again, like
Did
I
you
said,
meet Mushu?
no, they still didn't have any Mushu in this
Yeah,
one.
not even
Not even in my
Mushu's
dream.
Korean, dude.
Not even in my dream live action.
Huh?
Mushu's Korean. What are you talking about?
The dragon.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. I was like, is he serious right now?
Why is there a Korean dragon in China?
He flew over there, duh.
He doesn't have wings. Wait, yeah, he does.
Does he?
Yeah,
no,
the-
no,
no.
he did- no.
I mean, Chinese dragons
That
don't
was a
have
kite.
wings, but they can still fly.
Okay, fine. He flew a kite over there.
You can't fly a kite. to
Dragon,
China.
not lizard. He doesn't do that tongue thing. But anyway, yeah. So
Technicality.
those are my fun dreams that I had the other night. Again, both in the same night. But how about you guys? You ever have any vivid dreams? I know, Luke, you did talk about the Spock one you had with like the logic was
Oh
just
my goodness.
impossible.
Yeah.
So we already covered that. If you want to hear that, go back to the earlier podcast. But what about you guys? Any vivid dreams that are like just super intense and fun?
I can probably think of one real quick, but Luke looks like he has something on his
Well, I
mind.
don't have a dream, but I was going to say the closest thing I had this week
Oh, this week. Okay.
was I woke up like sweating because it was so hot in my room.
That's not at all.
That's
the same.
not a
That's
dream.
not a
Yeah,
dream.
like-
That's my point. Like I had no dreams because I was dying of heat exhaustion.
That's why he was holding on to it, John. He's like, I don't want to bring this up on the podcast.
I'm serious. Like I got up and I drank like a gallon of water.
He says sweat, but he really pissed the bed.
Sounds more right.
Yeah.
It's outrageous.
It's outrageous that you pissed the bed.
I had a bad night and you guys are making fun of me.
No, in Luke's defense, it's probably my fault. I always leave wet towels on his bed.
Yeah, why do you do that? He's not joking here.
Why do you do that?
He takes a shower in my house and then like uses the towel and tosses it on my bed.
It just needs to dry
Just
somewhere.
go to his house and do that. Don't
probably-
even
you
shower.
could.
Just soak the towel in the bath. And
Oh,
He
but
lives
hey,
in
hey, mine's
Cabazon.
not soaking wet, all right? It's just damp.
He lives in Cabazon. In the winter, the water is freezing. In the summer, the water is hot.
No, we have a
no,
water
I'm
heater.
saying don't shower. Just
Our pilot light went out. and that might have been one of the times you came over to
Okay.
take a shower. But yeah,
don't
we got it
shower,
fixed.
just
We're
wet
good.
it.
I don't like showering in other people's houses.
Why not?
It's unfamiliar and odd, and you have to figure out how the faucet works.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't like
Yeah.
that either.
I mean, you can just ask them and they'd explain it to you in like 2
Yeah,
seconds.
don't
But
like
then I
to
look
ask.
like an idiot.
Yeah, because it's like, what kind of idiot doesn't know how to work a shower knob?
Okay, so when you go into their kitchen, do you ask where the spoons are? Where their silverware
I just
drawers?
asked you to spoon.
Or are you just
Normally, I just ask,
any day, John?
normally I just say, "Can I get a spoon?"
Yeah, that's true.
And they
Okay.
get me a spoon.
So you still
I can't do that with the shower.
you still
though.
ask someone's mother, like, you know, even though you're like a 22-year-old man now.
Yes. That's exact. What are you going to do? Just like go through the.
Start opening all the drawers.
Yeah.
You're not familiar enough. Like, shoot, maybe I just have a different group of
With
friends.
whose
Like,
house?
usually,
What are we talking
Yeah, whose
about?
that's what I'm
That's what
saying. Is
we're
like
talking
I have a different group of friends because any other parent I've like interacted with, like I grew up with a lot of parents from like my elementary school friends, junior high friends, whatever else. It's like they're just like, oh yeah, go in the kitchen, grab whatever. Like,
You
so
still
they,
hang out with
Yeah.
those people?
I should, but I don't.
I was going to say, like, the people I grew up with, I'm not going over to their house anymore.
Because they died.
No.
No, because
They moved.
Luke doesn't have friends no more.
I don't have friends no more.
It's because he went to bed.
Just 'cause he was-
It's because you guys popped up, and I was like, oh, my friends.
He's like, I'll settle for this. Oh yeah. Okay, so Luke is empty on dreams. John, you got nothing. John 1, I should
well,
say.
here's the thing. I had a very like vivid dream last night, and I only dream when I get like really good sleep.
Okay.
So it's rare that I dream because I don't get good sleep often.
Yeah, I believe it.
But so it was a really cool, vivid dream. However, I don't remember anything that happened in it because I tend to forget my dreams like throughout the day.
Yeah.
How the heck do you know it was vivid?
Because when I woke up, I was like, "Dang, that was vivid."
Just like that.
That's how he wakes up. That was vivid.
Dang, that was vivid.
I did have one dream.
Okay.
I had a dream.
And this isn't the Count Spocula.
No, I had a dream that I was like a stack of hay. And mine was like really cool. You guys
no.
each had
no,
a little stack.
No. You are plagiarizing the Bible, sir.
No, I'm not. There's only 4 of us.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, okay. So you're using your creative liberties,
Yeah.
just like they did in like
That's
every
what
other.
they did with Noah.
yeah, every other Christian movie, quote unquote, that comes
Someday-
out
With
with
the
someday
rock
we'll-
people.
Someday we'll have to review Noah in the entertainment.
Dude, I
category.
love that movie. It was so funny.
Oh, we got to talk about it now. What about you, other John?
any vivid dreams.
Well, I guess
Keep it PG, all right?
PG. Oh, okay, I can't.
No
Can't
candles.
say that one. Never mind. No, I mean there was one that I guess it was a smash of between Assassin's Creed and James Bond. Like they both smashed in together.
Like
kind of
same
thing.
universe. Okay.
Smashed
Yeah,
in like they morphed,
they crashed.
they became one body,
If you
like
knew,
a Power Ranger.
if you knew the story of Assassin's Creed, it's about like a
Assassin's
group
Bond.
of people who fight for the freedom of humanity,
Yeah.
while another group actually wants to control have a whole world order, sort of thing like that. So it's a smash between James Bond being a secret agent, sort of thing like that, and you're gonna go and assassinate and kill
oh,
people
they
and
weren't
things
like
that.
physically smashed together.
No.
It just means the collective
It was
universes.
it's like saying DC and Marvel
Yeah.
smashed together, and there, boom, you have your whole story.
I thought you meant like a Power Ranger, where like they
no,
unite.
no, no.
Megamorph.
Wonder Twin
Mega-
powers
yeah.
activate.
No, but yeah, that's about it, and I don't really much. I can't remember actually. I should say really what went into depths with it, but I vaguely remember something along that line of something like that, like just being a secret agent killing
Nice.
people.
Go,
That's what I'm talking about.
007.
Yeah, I know. I've actually. I think I brought that up to you on the podcast when we discussed dreams on whatever episode it was, Luke. It might have been me, you, and Sarah. I think when we had that discussion.
Probably.
Yeah. So I actually do have a dream journal. I should start writing in that, or at the very least, I can entertain our podcast listeners with some more stories.
It's a diary.
It is.
What?
I don't know. I need you.
What
No.
does that have to do with a diary?
And I want you.
And me and Luke
There's
are in
no
agreement.
connection.
That
I'm
was
just
dumb.
random. Okay, that's what
Oh my
this is.
goodness.
It's the random.
That's true. This is the random portion of the podcast.
But anyway, I don't know why it came in either.
Pigeons.
So apparently,
Pigeon.
we were the
Aren't real.
buttholes of that ending right there. Apparently we were because we didn't understand him.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's a
or was
lame
it-
butthole
or was-
story, though.
Or was
It
I?
is a lame butthole.
We need a
story.
better "Am I the butthole?"
Yeah,
story
can you
than
help
that.
us out with that, Dylan?
I think I might be able to give you guys a good butthole story.
Oh, how
All right?
convenient!
Oh yeah. Oh.
All right. Am I the butthole for calling my girlfriend a dumb butt? I won't say the word. When she said that the dinosaurs killed the Romans. Yeah, let
Is that the whole story?
No,
I was about to say, yeah, if that's the whole story. He's not the butthole. I would have done the
all
same
right,
thing.
This is the title of it, all right? Here goes the actual story. So, my girlfriend and I were having a conversation about something when it got onto the topic of Rome. I was saying how I'd love to have seen Rome in its heyday, and she said, quote, until you get eaten by a dinosaur. I initially thought she was joking and just laughed, and she said, quote, what? Then she said completely straight-faced that the Roman Empire fell because of the dinosaurs. that the dinosaurs killed the Romans. I asked if she was serious, and she said, "You didn't know that?" Like, it was something everyone would know. I told her that the dinosaurs died like 1 million years before humans even existed. Quote, or parentheses, I realize this isn't the correct number, but at least I have a vague timeline. She said that it wasn't true, and I said, don't be a dumb butt. Just think about it. How would there not be stories about dinosaurs rampaging through civilizations if they existed during the Roman Empire? She got upset and said, don't call me a dumb butt, and went home. I mean, what the hell? Who even taught her that? And how does she still believe it? She's 23, not 12. Am I the butthole?
Oh, man. I don't even know how this is possible.
It happened, apparently.
Like,
Calling her a
first of all,
dumb butt is an understatement.
here's the thing. Like, from her point of view, she thought dinosaurs like organized and just like attacked the Romans all at once. Or what?
Was the T-Rex the general?
It didn't sound like she thought. She believed. Like, she fully
Yeah.
believed that this exactly happened.
Yeah, but it was like a single event. It's not like
Revenge of the dinosaurs.
eventually all the Romans scattered because they were eaten off by. It was like no. Then the dinosaurs showed up and ate all of them.
They destroyed them.
Yeah.
They had themselves a Caesar salad.
That's a good one.
It was a very protein-packed salad, though.
Yeah, it was.
Oh gosh. So is he the butthole? I think John already gave his John A or John 1. Which would you prefer, John?
The co-host John.
Coast John. All right.
JT.
The coast. I think that he's both kind of a butthole and she's both kind of a dumb A. Dumb butt.
I
Yes.
can get on board with that. Like,
Yeah.
she's his girlfriend.
He could have been a
I
little
feel
more
like-
subtle.
I feel like you should try to be on the same team as her,
Oh my
even in
gosh.
that kind of a situation. But at the same time, what the heck? Like, she definitely needed a strong rebuke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think they haven't been dating that long. Here's why. Me and my fiance now, we call her each other stuff like that all the time. Like,
Right.
you're such an idiot. Like, why are you being stupid? Why do you believe that?
Yeah, and we got
And
the,
we're
we got-
just fine. She don't go home.
Yeah.
you guys are
Yeah, true.
you guys are also way more brutal to each other than any couple I've ever seen, which is cool.
That sounds awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So good for you guys, but that's not typical.
Yeah, but I still feel like they're newly dating. That's why she got so offended. Like, I could
just
see
went
her,
home,
I
yeah.
could, yeah, and just went home.
I
could
think
see
you're
her-
probably right.
I could see her like have a little argument with him and then get over it if they've been dating a while. But like, I feel like they're new. If
New.
yeah, I don't know.
Okay. How
What
about
about
you,
John?
Other
Yeah.
John.
John Guest.
Well, I actually agree with John. I mean, he should have been more just like, hey, sweetheart, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
I love you, but whoever told you that is lying to you. But at the same time, it's like, oh, come on. I mean, that's stupid. I'm literally every time you're saying that, I'm thinking of the Pompeii, and I'm thinking of like a pterodactyl flying with the explosion,
Yeah.
of the erupting of the volcano at the exact same time of Pompeii being gone.
How amazing would that be?
I
I kind of want to believe this woman.
Gosh,
But-
man.
I agree. Like, it sounded like they're in a young relationship at top of it too. It's funny, but
So,
I have nothing else. I'm just shaking my head right now.
23. Yeah.
I'll go ahead since like somebody's got to be the butthole. I'll go ahead and say this guy is.
Okay.
But
just came in too
just
harsh
because
with it.
she can't be,
Yeah.
they're the only two in the story.
Right.
She's like, come on, but not a butthole.
Yeah, she's stupid, but okay. So that's the general
She's
consensus.
definitely the
He could have
dumb
done.
butt.
He could have done better in explaining it.
Yeah.
And been a little more
I
sensitive.
would have patted her on the head very,
And that's what me and Sarah do. We
Yeah,
have,
what do you-
we have condescending head
yes,
pats.
very condescendingly.
I was just kind of like, oh baby,
You tried.
yeah,
Oh man.
Don't
so
hurt
cute.
yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. This one could go out to maybe some listeners who are listening. If they want to call in at some point. We can put you on speakerphone. Maybe you could talk to us at some point.
Hey, that's true.
No.
We should do a phone interview at some point.
Phone. Okay, but no speakerphone.
Why not?
Why?
They got to talk to all of us.
No. Let me tell you. This is our next little subject here. Speakerphones for no reason. And what I'm talking about is when I call up someone or they call me and they're on speakerphone, I'll always ask them, hey, why are you on speakerphone? If it's a legitimate reason, like they're doing something with their hands, that they can't like hold the phone up to their ear. I'm like, you know what? Sure, I'll deal with the nonsense of using speakerphone.
Right.
But if they're just like, oh, I like to use speakerphone, you idiot, use your hand, okay? Because when it's on speakerphone, it sounds like I'm talking through a freaking like CB radio, or even worse quality, because it's always like, hello, hi, like, or it's too far away. I can barely hear. Like, are you that lazy? Hold the damn phone up to your ear and talk to me. Okay, if you have no good reason to be on speaker, it really.
I'm with you on this one. Like, if you don't want to use your hands, get some Bluetooth earbuds,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
or headphones or whatever. You know, you can put your phone in your pocket.
Right.
There's no, the sound quality is so much worse. There's no reason to use speakerphone if there's no reason to use speakerphone. You get me? Like,
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
sounds
no.
dumb, but
No, yeah, I'm not a type of person who would sit there. If you tried calling me Luke, I wouldn't sit there and put you on speakerphone if I'm sitting at my house on my couch or something. The time it really annoys me, like John was saying, it's usually when people are driving, because that's when you, like,
Oh, yeah.
like even
You
if
can
their
hear the cars.
even if the windows aren't open, you still hear all the noises and just like, hey, how are you doing? It's just like that silent in the background.
I give people a break on that one.
Well, I mean, I guess they're driving safely, but still,
Yeah.
it's like, just don't call me at all.
And
then.
legally, you know.
Yeah, it's still annoying, but you're right, Luke.
it's funny. The one exception you guys give, that's the one annoyance I have.
The one that I get annoyed is the one when they were walking through the stores.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
That irritates me.
Okay, you know what? Number two.
Especially if you're in the store.
Yes, and you're like, okay, you know what I need that, and now you hear is, why is he doing this? Why is she doing that? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh my gosh, woman, shut up.
Nobody wants to hear it.
No,
Yeah.
Right.
I don't want to hear your family problems. I don't want to hear your husband slept with your neighbor. I don't
Oh my god!
care.
What conversations are you listening to?
I really don't
I gotta
care.
go shopping with you, dude.
I
That
know.
sounds entertaining.
Shoot, we're
And
gonna
then
have a
it's-
whole other
and
topic
then
next
it's
week.
The other one that irritates me is the FaceTiming, and they're not even really looking at each other. They're just like have their phone right out here, and it's like,
It's like,
Is
why
it
are
on
you
speak-
video
Oh,
chatting?
what?
What's the point?
Yeah.
yeah,
For those listeners who can't see what John was doing, he was holding it like almost like a pizza or like a waiter at a restaurant where they hold it out in front of them, but they don't actually have it near their mouth.
All
Exactly.
you're seeing is the ceiling.
Yeah, all you're seeing is
Exactly.
the ceiling.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the FaceTiming because, you know, say, hey, you have family members back in, you know, Tennessee, what I do.
Right.
You know, and you communicate with them and you see them. That's fine. I have nothing against it. I really don't. But you do that at home. Don't
Yeah,
do
not
that
in
out
public, in front of everyone.
And then
Time
on
and
top of
place.
it, don't even show your face in front of them. Just call them and put it on your phone, like you said. Put it up to your ear. Quit being lazy. Simple as that.
All in agreement here.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yep, we all say I. And speaking of I would like to transition to the entertainment portion of the podcast.
I didn't like that.
I didn't like that, John.
It got better as it went along.
Yeah, that wasn't one of our best, but it wasn't our worst.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, we had to transition
and,
somehow.
And John was right. Like,
What?
I almost didn't do it because that transition.
Yeah. That
Okay,
was
you guys
that
do
was-
it. Take it away.
You know what? I will say that was not our best transitional like song, but that was the worst transition you've done.
That can't be the worst.
That's definitely the worst.
I don't. I'm hesitant to say that because either way it sounds like an insult. Like, oh no, you've had worse.
I don't know.
Or no, that was the worst you've ever done.
That's what I'm saying. I think I've had worse in the past. I don't think that was the worst because I actually get.
Is that what you would prefer to hear?
I don't know.
Yeah, you've had worse in the past.
Okay, cool.
It sucked, but there's been suckier.
As long as I split the votes, I still win.
John,
Deal.
what do you think? Was that a crap transition?
I'm not used to this. I'm not. I'm gonna stay.
But
out
you've
of it.
like, I'm
listened
not
to the
putting my mouth on
episodes.
that.
I have listened to the episodes.
All right. Well, I figure we can go ahead and jump in. If you haven't already heard, the Golden Globe results were in last Sunday when we were recording our podcast, but we record early in the afternoon, so we didn't have them. Therefore, it's news to us.
Who did the opening monologue?
Yeah, nobody cares about the
Oh
results.
my
They
gosh.
just care
Dude,
about
yeah,
Ricky
Yo,
Ricky
Gervais.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he went ham on people, man. The whole,
love him.
all of
Did
Hollywood.
you guys listen to the whole monologue?
I didn't
Yeah.
listen to the
I
whole thing.
watched
I just
it
saw
like
like
5 times.
I
at
saw
work.
excerpt clips where just like, look, when you come up here, thank whoever, but don't get political. Like nobody wants to hear your crap. Like,
Yeah,
just,
the
said,
whole monologue was just kind of condescending. Yeah, just like dark, annoying jokes about actors. It was great.
I
It was
know.
amazing.
It's my favorite one is he was like, yeah, oh shoot, who's that guy who's a girl now? And
Caitlyn Jenner.
yeah, he's like, yeah, Caitlyn Jenner's done a lot, this past year, like became Woman of the Year, won all these awards. Definitely hasn't done anything for the stereotype of women driving though. For those listeners who don't know, he actually like hit someone with his car a long time ago and killed them.
Oh my
So that's why
gosh.
the joke is really funny.
And dark. Like all
And
of
dark.
the jokes
You
were
know,
about
that's-
like that.
That's what I like with British humor is like they're not afraid to go ham on it. Like they
Yeah.
will make
Nope.
those dark humor jokes and just again, Ricky Gervais did exactly what British people do. Is like he just went in on everybody. Like he didn't care.
Not only that.
He doesn't care where you stand. He's just like, I'm here to make jokes. Like
Yeah, not even that, but he went in it with nothing to lose. He was like, I don't really want to do it again, and they're not going to hire me again.
Yeah.
So here we go.
yeah.
He was saying, yeah, the producer told me if I make any crude jokes or anything, they're gonna pull me off the stage. And he was basically like, let's see if that happens.
Let's go.
Yeah. And Tom Hanks, did you see Tom
Oh,
Hanks?
his face was
he
so
was not
judgy.
having it. He wasn't showing anger, but he was like, like
Frustrated.
like when your face gets tense and you're just like,
Yeah, I think I saw Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
That face became a meme now. Like,
yeah. Look at Tom Hanks's face from the Golden Globes.
But at least, I mean, like again, I think we all agreement and love. We love Ricky Gervais as the opening. We did also love, or at least I did, Tom Hanks's speech when he got like a not a Universal, but like a Lifetime Achievement Award type of deal
Right.
at the Oscars or Golden Globes. I always keep getting them confused. But yeah, he got an award. He went up there to give a speech and just started crying because he was like thinking his family and everything. He was so emotional. I was like, oh, that's why Tom Hanks
He's
is
a
like
pretty classy guy,
Him-
and that's
him-
why he didn't like Ricky Gervais.
right.
And
yeah,
I don't
he-
blame him for it. Like,
It just Tom Hanks is a super nice dude. It's like if he comes up to you and punches you in the face, you did something wrong. Like
Yeah.
there's no other explanation about it. Like Tom Hanks is too nice to be evil.
At the same token, though, like Ricky made a good point. He was like, "Don't come up here and cry and sob. This award means nothing." And I wholeheartedly agree with him. Like, you go up there and you're crying, like, "Oh, I just can't believe." No one honestly cares. Like, I don't know why people even watch that. I didn't watch the Golden Globes. I just heard about what he said, so I went and just watched his little clips.
just his clip.
Yeah, I didn't watch anyone go up there to get the award. I was like, "This is perfect. This is the only Golden Globes I'll ever watch
Yeah.
in my entire life."
people giving awards for the sake of receiving awards.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Right.
all nonsense. They give it to themselves. And
pat yourself on the back.
And Ricky was like, "Yeah, so if you win, thank your agent because they probably bought it."
Oh dang. Whew. Gosh, man, I only saw bits and pieces, but like I said, this is all just still.
You gotta
savage.
watch it. It runs for like 15 minutes. It's
Who
so
actually
funny.
gives out those awards? Is it us that we vote, or is it
It's
actually
it's just
they
it's
vote?
the like the academy or whatever the heck they
It's
call
just
themselves.
people in-
The
people in
organization.
film.
Yeah, see that. See, that's
So-
where I think it's wrong. Is
That's
because
where it gets bought.
you know, yeah, exactly. Because you know when you watch
That's why,
any
honestly-
sports events, you know, and I'm not saying all sports are this way because you know you have a voting. You have vote whoever
Yeah.
goes to the Pro Bowl. That's an award.
Yeah.
You vote. The people vote, not the NFL.
Yeah.
So or NBA, wherever the case may be. So that's what I was curious. Is like, so all of this is just literally, like you said, just bought. It's a joke.
Yeah.
It's a joke. Why? And that's the reason why I don't watch it. It's
Like,
like
there
I don't
are-
care to see who won an award for being the the sexiest actor, you know, and on this man right here, you know, Chris Hemsworth or whatever the case may have been at
Yeah.
that time.
The only award shows I like to watch are the Dundies.
So
Phrase of the week: power to the people. Bring the power to the citizens to elect the best actors and actresses at the Golden Globes.
Or suck on these Golden Globes.
Did you see the year that Jeremy Renner and Jennifer Lopez were doing it?
No.
Oh my goodness! He looked over at her. He was like, "Oh yeah, these Golden Globes." You're gonna have to. That's
I'm gonna have to
another-
look that up. Yeah, that's funny.
Yikes.
He almost lost his popularity over that.
All right, well, I'm gonna. Gosh, now that we've went on a tangent with that whole opening, gosh.
Wait, what's the phrase of the week?
Do you want to
Whatever you would like, power to the people, or suck on
Freedom-
these Golden Globes.
Freedom to these globes.
You have the freedom to suck on these
Free
golden
the
globes.
Golden Globes.
Free the globes. That's what it is. Free the globes.
Free the
Oh my
globes.
gosh. All right, so now the actual awards and who won.
This is gonna be a long podcast.
Gosh, hey, it'll be a great one though.
I agree.
All right, so best actor in a supporting role in any motion picture. Brad Pitt for his role in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I reviewed and gave high remarks to. I think a lot of the ones I gave high reviews to actually came out on top in a lot of these categories.
Poor Leo.
Still haven't seen that, but when I made the comment, I was like, dang, he is he's 55 years old.
Dude,
he
he
still
jacked.
looks freaking good.
Yep.
Poor Leo though.
Yeah.
The main character got passed up again.
Yeah. Well, he got at least one, right? Or what was it?
did
An
he get
Oscar?
one?
No, I thought it was an Oscar that he hasn't.
For The Revenant.
Last, whatever, a couple years back. All right, best song, "I'm Gonna Love Me Again," Rocket Man. That was best original song.
Yeah.
Best actress in a musical or comedy. This chick's name is Aquafina. That is her name.
Oh yeah, the
Chi-
Asian girl. Yeah.
Yeah, Asian actress in The Farewell.
She's funny.
Best original score, Hildur. I don't even know how to pronounce that last name, but it's for the Joker. All right, the Joker got best original score. Missing Link got Best Motion Picture for Animation, which I could appreciate. That was a good movie. Best Motion Picture in a Foreign Language was Parasite. I didn't actually see that one, but it did have a lot of good reviews to it, so I might have to check that out. Taron Egerton, Best Actor in a Picture, Musical or Comedy. Once again, Rocket Man. Sarah actually really loved that movie.
That was a good movie.
Best Screenplay, Quentin Tarantino, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Best Director, Sam Mendes for 1917. Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Best Actor in a Motion Picture for Drama, Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker.
There we go.
Boom. Best Actress in a Motion Picture Drama, Renee Zellweger in Judy. And then Best Motion Picture Drama, 1917, which I haven't reviewed yet, but I will review it next week because I'm seeing it Monday in Dolby Digital. Me and John were actually talking about this at church. I think the movie looks great. So if it's already getting Golden Globe winners and everything for Best Drama, I'm excited for it. And like I even saw a behind the scenes thing where they talked about how with the camera shots, they specifically filmed it with one camera, so you would like get a feel for what these guys are going through in the trenches, like you're right there with them, kind of thing. So I feel, again, there's no wonder why Sam Mendes won for Best Director in that thing. So I'm looking forward to it. But so those are your results for the Golden Globes. On a not so good note, the I call it the Lego Movie copycat Playmobil movie did a huge flop. And
What the heck is Playmobil?
Yeah, you gotta
Exactly.
explain
Literally, I saw like one trailer for this when I went to go to the movies in the past several months. Saw one trailer for it in an opening few minutes or whatever for previews, and it just flopped so hard. It was like even just watching the trailer, it looked like it was a ripoff of the Lego Movie. That's all I could think about. And the thing only barely went over $1 million in its theater run.
Sheesh.
I'm like, I can only imagine the people that are either out of jobs, out of work, because it's like, you got to think all the animation that goes behind that, directors, screenplay writers, whatever else. It's like, you can't pay everybody with $1 million for one movie. That was just terrible. Like, and again, I don't know, like, if they wanted to at least try to be comparable or give Lego Movie a little bit of competition. It's like, one, you came out super late because they've already made, 5 movies now? They have Lego Batman, Lego Ninjago. They made 2 sequels for the actual core Lego Movie.
Dude, it's like Mega Bloks took a shot at making a movie.
Dude, it's,
What the heck?
it's horrible. Oh my gosh,
is
it's
so
like
funny.
Again, I'm like I've said multiple times. It's like I'll go watch kids movies or whatever else. I saw Spies in Disguise last week or the week of New Year's, and I enjoyed it somewhat. It's like I'm not like not bigot. That's not the right word, but I'm not like a movie fanatic to where it's like, oh, I'm not going to watch a kids movie. I'm only going to watch these drama ones or something like that. Like I'll watch anything, but man, I did not want to go see that movie, and sure enough, for good reason, I would have wasted my money. That thing was just terrible. Gosh, man. But
It's garbage.
yeah, and I kept bringing up the MCU a lot earlier on. Have you guys seen the trailer for New Mutants?
No.
No.
Dude, okay,
What?
Was
I
that
didn't
a
know that
show
was
or
a
a
thing.
movie?
it's a movie. It's going to be a feature film that I'm seeing articles now that they're confirming it should be part of the MCU, and it looks like
Is this Disney or is it still?
no, it's Disney.
It's Disney.
Yeah, it's Disney's New Mutants. It's gonna have John. You watch Game of Thrones, right?
I did.
The girl who killed the Ice King. Spoiler.
Oh yeah, the younger sister.
Yeah, she's in this. She's one of the mutants.
Dude, she'd make a good action movie.
Yeah, it looks so trippy, dude. It almost looks like a horror movie. Like what the trailer shows.
Oh, crap.
It's like they all, yeah. I'm so excited to see what kind of different feel this movie can get. With it being part of the MCU and being again under the Disney umbrella overall. It's got this weird feel to it, and it looks like these mutants are kind of taken into captivity, but they don't quite realize it yet. And then as the story progresses, they're like, oh crap, we need to escape because these are some freak scientists that are trying to mess with us. So it looks pretty good. If you don't have if you haven't yet, go check out the trailer. New Mutants. It looks pretty good.
So it's like
That's interesting.
Deadpool escaping from the.
Almost, yeah.
Well,
A lot more dark though. Not as funny.
because Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness was supposed to be we're getting scary.
That's supposed to
Yeah.
be the horror film, actually.
Yeah, that's what they keep
That's the
talking about
horror film.
early
I don't believe
reaction.
it's going to be a horror film. I think they're saying that from a Disney perspective.
It's definitely going to be darker though.
Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah.
You could be right, but they supposed to say
yeah,
that
it's supposed to be the scary one. So this is going to be
A horror film
interesting.
for Disney is Monsters Inc.
I mean, yeah. Who wants
So
a
far,
white sock on their 2319?
No. All right. But yeah, so oh man, once again, more gas. Like I said, go check out New Mutants if you haven't already. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a very, very special segment for the entertainment portion of this podcast. Coasts, take it away. Ladies and gentlemen, we are deep diving into Star Wars.
That was amazing.
That was fantastic, right? You're welcome, everybody.
We just blessed your ear holes. All right, so yes, we are going to deep dive into Star Wars. So if you have not, for some reason, seen the movie already, by this point, skip ahead. You are not going to want to hear all these spoilers. 'Cause
Mom, Dad.
Nope.
Stop listening.
Now.
Stop listening. We are warning you now. Stop. Okay, if you're still here, it's on you.
Just kidding. Just listen.
All right, so initial reactions. Guys, you all saw Star Wars. What did you think about it?
Not too shabby.
Okay.
Way better than the others. Not all of them. I just mean the new ones.
The new saga. New saga will clarify.
Compared to the Last Jedi, it was good.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know if it was just more hype or whatever, like, because I even felt the same way with a little bit with Avengers Endgame or whatever.
Right.
Like, a little bit of a letdown. I was expecting a little more, so it wasn't the greatest of movies, the greatest of Star Wars, but it was, again, definitely better than Last Jedi, like you guys were saying. And so I'd give it a passing grade. I'd say it was great overall.
Yeah,
not amazing.
I was hyped, but I was also really worried.
Yeah.
After The Last Jedi was such a big letdown. That's one of the biggest letdowns cinematically in my life.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I was super worried about this one, and then it turned out not too bad.
Yeah.
I thought, okay. I mean, there was some stuff where it's like Emperor Palpatine. We'll just dive right in. Emperor Palpatine being involved is like,
Evolved?
involved.
Oh, involved.
Involved
Sorry,
is
my bad.
like, did they have to go there? But they kind of did because they got rid of Snoke in the last one.
Well, they wanted to make it more nostalgic for everyone.
Yeah.
They had to bring someone old back because they realized no one likes this crap they're putting out.
Yeah.
Well, they still could have done a lot better with the storyline because they still did not really say it, and I'm speaking in saying wise, what Snoke really was.
Yeah.
We know what he was because what the visuals they showed us. But it was still like that was a waste of a character.
Right.
You wasted a good character. I still rate it as like you said, a solid, I'll give it a B-.
Yeah.
The reason why is because he did a lot for what the crappy movie was before.
Yes.
He did a lot for that, and
Yeah.
I give him props for it. But if he added the in-game extra hour in there, like 3 hours in there, I think there would have been a solid A.
Yeah.
More story development.
There were so many plot holes that were still missing.
As such, no. I'm like, do you have examples for the plot holes, or?
I don't know if another hour would necessarily make the film better. Like, more film doesn't always mean a better film.
I don't think
not necessarily, but it would have filled the positions of what they've left out. For example, and I'm going to dive into this part, her being a Palpatine.
Rey.
We don't understand why she was a Palpatine. There was like, oh yeah, her father was a Palpatine, and it's like,
Yeah, she's a granddaughter of Palpatine.
yeah.
Who banged Palpatine?
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Here's the thing.
Who wants a wrinkly old man?
It had to have happened episode
was still a
3 at the
senator.
earliest.
Yeah.
If at least possibility.
So either he's like this wrinkly old guy, or he's a more wrinkly, gray-skinned freak of an emperor.
Yep.
Because
Either way,
yeah.
she a gold digger.
Because
She's a gold digger?
Yeah, she just walks
she's an empire digger.
Well, you gotta look at it because when when they showed the character of Rey's dad, he looked like he was at least in his 30s.
Mm-hmm.
How long did the war last?
I don't know. You're the Star Wars nerd here. That's why I brought you on.
Yeah,
It's hard to say, but let's go
It's
with-
never said really exactly, but look at what Luke Skywalker did when after he ended the Death Star the final Death Star was destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
He was at least in his 40s, about to hit his 40s. You gotta look.
I would say
he
30s.
he was 18, 19 years old when he was
Yeah.
when Ben Kenobi picked him up.
Yeah.
There at least it had been training for that because he don't become a Jedi Master just overnight. You have experience, and he became a Jedi Master after Darth Vader failed.
I'm thinking his 30s, but let's look at it this way. He's got to be 60s pushing 70 in these movies.
Yeah.
So we're talking 60, 70 years.
At least he's
Yeah.
probably pushing like 50 by the end of the at episode 6.
And Rey is maybe
Mid-20s,
in her-
mid-20s, yeah, I'd
mid-20s.
say.
So subtract 25 from that. So we're talking 50. Her dad must have been like 25-ish, maybe 30.
So Palpatine was
somewhere around
50 at his youngest.
This is like
still
trying to piece together the timeline here.
yeah.
I wouldn't even say 50. I would say it's still
Older?
60, 70, or gray and wrinkly.
Gosh, man.
Yeah.
He became wrinkly after Mace Windu. Anyways.
Do they have
Yeah.
Viagra in space? I don't know if he needed it, but either way, it's just like, and that was the other thing too. I joke around with Luke about it. I'm just like, man, like if for him to look that ugly and be that evil, I'm kind of questioning how he got someone pregnant. Like it might not have been the most appropriate of ways.
There's someone out there for everyone.
Well, there was actually a comic book that that Disney just released that of a, I don't remember who she was or what she was, but she fell in love with Darth Vader. And before she saw him without his mask on and everything like that, because no one's supposed to see Darth Vader without his mask. Darth Vader made that clear. You are not supposed to see me with my mask or you're died.
Right.
She did. She saw him. She died. In the comic book, in Disney's comic book that just recently came out with Darth Vader. So just to think of even that with her, someone loving Darth Vader, there has to be someone that could probably fall in love.
Yeah.
So, end quote, I don't know. That's 100% true.
Who's uglier, Palpatine or Vader?
Palpatine for sure.
Yeah, Palpatine.
Yeah, I'd say that one weird alien creature that has the goggles on her head. She looks like she's got anus eyes. It's like so wrinkly in
You're
there.
talking about Maz Kanata?
Whatever, yeah,
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
the heck she is.
Yeah. But there's
John's trying to think of
I'm trying to think of who you're talking about.
the little
orange
like
one.
the little
orange
orange
Yoda
yellow.
looking
Yeah.
Oh, midget,
Yeah.
yeah. That thing's weird.
Gosh.
Okay, so that I think was one of the weirdest things. Like just the whole storyline with Palpatine, that was a little weird.
Right.
You
But
can tell
I-
it's just thrown together.
and then
I can forgive it because The Force Awakens went in one direction. It was not the most spectacular movie, but it did set up a lot of good stuff. We had these two characters, a good guy and a bad guy, and they were going to be growing in power and in force throughout the entire trilogy. I was like, yes, this is going to be exciting. Episode 8, The Last Jedi, gave them absolutely no time to grow as characters.
Okay.
No.
And took the story in a completely different direction. Killed
Right.
off Snoke. Rey's parents don't matter, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it just goes a very different
But
direction.
they wanted to be nobody.
You have these two nearly unrelated stories, and then J.J. Abrams has the challenge of figuring out how to make them work. And I understand that Palpatine was kind of the best way to do that. So
Right.
I can forgive that because he did a good job of taking both of these movies, and now with this third one to cap it off, it feels like a trilogy that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, he definitely had to, like you said, Luke, he had to fix a lot of holes from the last movie, so he had to bring in a lot of nostalgia, because you can never underestimate the power of nostalgia, and that's why I think him going with Palpatine as the villain was definitely the ace in the hole, essentially. But,
Yeah.
I mean, again, this movie isn't without its flaws and errors, and like, obviously, as we're discussing right now, that's what we're getting into, like, one of my biggest complaints with this, I'll get into Palpatine, I'll save that for later, but was actually the Knights of Ren. Like, they get hyped up so much and just like,
They don't do
frick, man,
nothing.
the Knights of Ren, they're here. And like, even the Stormtroopers are talking, oh my gosh, the Knights of Ren, that's so cool. Like, they did, like John just said, they do jack crap the whole movie.
The only
They just,
person they fought was Ren at the end.
yeah,
and that wasn't even really a fight at all.
All they
Once he
do
got
is
his
sit
saber.
there. Yeah, all they do is sit there and stand ominously around corners, on cliff sides, just looking
Yeah.
pretty. I'm just like, do something
But
with
did you
your...
see their cloaks?
I don't give a crap, man. Like, it was such a, like, that was another, like, honestly, this is what I kind of knocked the director for and why I didn't give it an A. It's like, these characters were hyped up so much, people kept talking about them. Like, even in the last movie when Kylo Ren destroyed the temple when Luke almost killed him during his training, they talked about, the Knights of Ren going away with him and everything. Oh, man, what are they going to bring in the next movie? What's going to happen with that? They do nothing with it. Like, they let it go all the way to the end of the movie before they finally fight their trainer and master, and then they just die in 5 seconds because he gets a blue lightsaber. And it's just
And
like...
again, I think that's more on The Last Jedi than it is on The Rise of Skywalker.
But it's like what John 2 here, or our guest John
Other
said.
John.
But if they had added in more time, they could have at least gave us a better scene of fighting or
Exactly.
something with
That's
them.
true.
Because, and then it's like, in that same vein of thought, like, again, still with the Knights of Ren is one of my biggest complaints. It's like, okay, they were trained under Kylo Ren, who's a pretty decent Jedi, maybe not master level, but he's definitely intermediate, not apprentice, because he's not beginner or anything.
He's Anakin level. Well, let's leave it at that. He's Anakin level before he turned to the dark side.
He's a good level of saber, force user, whatever else. So you're telling me that this guy trained up these 6 other dudes and apparently he didn't. They didn't get their own lightsabers, but he trained them. He's a Jedi in one regard, but he didn't train him enough to fight and combat an actual Jedi with a lightsaber. Like, what the crap are they gonna do? Like, can they only beat up on stormtroopers or regular people? Because all they got was Chewie in the one part of the movie, but they didn't do anything else.
Well, the reality of the situation is that if you were to do all of the things that never got covered, you'd have an entire new movie. That's because The Last Jedi was an absolute waste of 3 hours. Like, they should have just... Ideally, The Last Jedi would not have existed, and all the stuff that's unanswered would have been taken care of in the second movie.
But again, at least show something. Give me some reason to give the Knights of Ren. It's like, because it's the same thing with back in the original. I'm talking episodes 4 through 6. It's the same thing with the bounty hunter. Why am I forgetting his name?
Boba Fett.
Yeah, like or was it Jango? Was it Bubba?
Bubba.
Well,
Fett. Which one are you talking about? Are you talking about
the green suit, not the
Boba
Boba
Fett.
Okay.
Boba Fett.
Yeah, Boba Fett. He does nothing. He doesn't even capture Han Solo. Darth Vader does that, and apparently he gets all this like hype and fame. It's just like, what did you do during the whole movie? You fell into the
I
Sarlacc
don't know
pit.
why he's such a fan favorite.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like the Knights of Ren became Boba Fett.
It's the reason why is because he's Mandalorian armor. He's not a Mandalorian.
I know.
But it's because of the Mandalorian armor.
Yeah.
Now that the Mandalorian show just came out recently, that's now the title is the best because now he has a jetpack. He has everything that Boba Fett has, but he's actually a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
But
actually,
that's the reason why he's a big fan. That's the only reason why
he's not a born Mandalorian.
Kind of adopted.
No. Well, hold on. Have you seen the show?
Yes.
He was adopted.
You got to remember, Mandalorian is not a planet.
Race.
It's not a race. It's a cult. That's what Disney did. But George Lucas did it as it's a planet.
Yeah.
And you can see it in the cartoons version of the Clone Wars.
I don't think they mean that entirely literally. I mean, it's like when Thor's like, Asgard is not a place, it's a people. It's like, well, it was a place, and they got blown up.
Well, exactly. I'm not 100%, but those are still
like
Asgardians. Those are Asgardians. You can't become an Asgardian.
Yeah.
You can't.
It's like
you can become a Mandalorian.
Samurais were Japanese, right? I don't want to get the
Sorry,
wrong Asian country again.
Korean.
No.
Yeah,
you're right.
Okay, samurais were Japanese, but if I'm born in America and they take me over to Japan and I get trained as a samurai, I'm still a samurai. Yes. But it's not.
But
like
you're
I was,
not part of that.
But they would never train.
I was not born there.
You're a Guilo. You're around.
Just like this guy was not born a Mandalorian.
Yes,
he was adopted.
Exactly. But it's the worst part of going back to the Rens. They have another comic book that just came out, and why are they making it an all comic book series? Because they just made a comic book consist of the Knights of Ren versus Luke Skywalker. This is way before Ben was even around as being a Jedi yet. This is way before. This is literally probably maybe 4 or 5 years after. I think I'm just spitting here because I haven't read it, but it consists of Luke fighting off the Knights of Ren. But it's like you said. So there's the Palpatines, and his son situation. There's the Knights of Ren. Now what about the Sith army? That Sith, the Royal Army, that whatever you want to call them. Where the heck have they come out of nowhere? And
are you talking about the Sith troopers? The red armor?
The Sith trooper, the fleet itself too. They just like, you're telling me that just came out of nowhere. It's like boom, here they are. It's like, can you give us a little more detail, please? Like, why? Why does this happen? And things like that.
Watching this movie, you kind of just have to accept that a lot happened.
Yeah.
You just have to be like, okay, I'll believe you for the sake of the story, and then move on.
But there's also things that in my head I was thinking in my head that could have been so much better than involved in the movie, like to see the connection between Ben Solo and Anakin to finally kind of just say, you know what, looks, you are my grandson.
Yeah.
I know what you're going through. I've been through it. That's not what it is. It's show us a spirit ghost of Anakin, and that's one thing that Disney screwed up big time with all 3 of the movies. Is that I'm glad they didn't say that Rey is the chosen one. I was thankful for that, but they ruined it because like you said, who can they bring back? Palpatine. Palpatine's the only one they could bring back. So
gonna rub back Darth Maul. And they set that up in the Han Solo movie, but
he's already been killed in canon, though.
They actually killed him in Rebels.
Oh, they finally actually killed him.
Obi-Wan finally killed him.
What was the point of bringing it back in Han Solo?
It's after Solo.
No. Okay, well, going in a little more depth, they are making a TV series consist of the Darth Maul.
I heard about that.
So they're going to connect the Solo situation with that and Darth Maul himself. What and how far they're going to go.
That's one of the other wasted characters, but that's again we're sticking strictly on the movie. Anyway,
we'll get that
later.
But they ruined the idea of Anakin being the chosen one, which is George Lucas's idea from day one, that Anakin is the chosen one. He is the one to kill and destroy the Sith. Well, not anymore now. Rey is the one that did it.
Yeah.
So, and when all the Jedis were talking there and saying that, "Oh, I'm with you. We're with you. Well, I'm with you," and then Anakin goes, "I did it once." It's like, you didn't. Palpatine's still alive.
Yeah, apparently you failed.
He just tossed him down that little shaft. Like
He's like, Kobe.
Yeah. Gosh. You sure it was like Kobe? I think it was more like Shaq.
Yeah,
He
he
missed.
dunked it on him.
So hey, how about this? What did you guys think of the Force connection between Rey and Kylo Ren?
You're a dyad
And
in
like
the
being
Force.
able
to like transfer things.
transfer things.
I think that
and
was
fight.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
You
I
like
thought-
that?
I
didn't
loved
have
it.
any
No,
issues with
I
it.
actually
no.
loved it. I just hated the ending. That was
Yes.
that was the worst
The
part
ending
of it
he's
all.
talking about is when Kylo Ren forced himself inside Rey.
Is that like a special director's cut I haven't
That's
seen?
not what
No,
happened.
when he forced himself inside Ray.
Dude,
Am I wrong?
if
The sentence is still correct.
did you watch that on the internet? I don't think that was what you think it was.
What website were you on?
Okay, I love
He
the
was
wrong
on-
movie.
He was on that vagina candle.
Back on topic. I got tired of people dying from Force exhaustion.
I agree.
Yeah.
It happened to Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi, and it was like, what? It's like, we've never seen that.
Yep.
And then
You
it
got too
happens
tired.
again to Leia, and then to Rey, and then to Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, give me a break.
And
it doesn't
the
need
Force
happen.
is supposed to be the strongest thing in the universe.
Apparently
everything.
not.
And then all of a sudden, like,
And my other big gripe, all that Force healing, like Episode 3.
They went
There's
too
a-
far with it.
Yeah.
Well, Episode 3, there's this whole story of Darth Plagueis the Wise, and the dark side leads to many abilities people
Can do this, that, the other thing, whatever. Yeah.
people consider unnatural. Yeah,
Right.
It's like healing people, keeping them from dying. That's the whole reason Anakin went to the dark side. And then Rey's like, I got you.
no, what, okay. I gotta say, I know this is not in the movie, but it is part of the Mandalorian thing.
Yeah.
The Baby Yoda can do it.
Yeah.
Baby Yoda can do it. And it's like,
That's the whole reason Anakin turned to the dark side.
yeah.
And because Palpatine's like, you can only learn that from a Sith. It's like, or a little baby green thing.
Yeah.
Well, when he was desperate, what are you going to do?
Gosh.
Oh, gosh. And I think, so it's Palpatine. One good thing I did like, and what kind of makes sense canon-wise, is they set this up, I think, going back to the prequel trilogy, episodes 1 through 3, is Yoda talked about when they were around that, like, celebratory fire, or I think it was after Qui-Gon died, and they were, like, giving him a
Standing around the
standing around
Yep.
the pyre and everything, and he says, like, there's always two. There's a master and an apprentice. Speaking of the dark side and everything, the Sith Lords. And, Palpatine kind of hinted at that. Like, I don't know if people caught it watching the movie, but he said, like, when Rey finally confronts him and everything, and he says, like, look, when you kill me and you strike me down, all of the Sith power is going to pass into you. Like, and so I'm like, okay, canon-wise, that would make sense because, again, that would make sense as to why there's always the one master and the one apprentice, because the second you kill the master, there you go, you're the new master, essentially.
Yeah, except that didn't happen.
Well, yeah, that's my thing. That's what I was about to
Whoa.
complain about, is the fact that, like, again, they have the whole standoff where he's just blasting away with his fingertip lightning, and he's
That
like,
was OP. That was way OP.
it's
Yes.
too much.
Way OP.
He's freaking zapping spaceships out of the sky. Like, what the crap? Like, I felt like I was watching Ivan Ooze. If you look at the original Power Ranger movie or whatever, when he's like standing on the, I think it's whatever Angel Grove is. Again, this is getting way back to movies. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Ivan Ooze is sitting there and he zaps one of the Zords as they're like flying through the air or whatever. And it's like, that's all I thought of when I saw him shoot the lightning into the sky. But anyway, getting into the actual movie again, when he sits there and he starts blasting away at Rey and shooting her lightsaber and she's blocking it. It's like, okay, first of all, have you not learned from your mistakes? Because literally Mace Windu fried you in the third movie when you were trying to zap him
with his lightsaber.
That's why you look the way you do.
He reflected the lightning back at him with one saber, and that was enough.
And then Rey gets two.
Yeah, and then here she's just like the whole stupid, I am all the Sith, I am all the Jedi, pew, and picks up two sabers. That was the stupidest thing ever. Like, I hated that. I know it's like technically he can still claim, well, they found the loophole because he's the one who blasted himself with his own lightning, so she didn't technically kill him, but she did technically kill him because it's just like, I don't know. I hated it. I did not like that ending. It was, I don't know, it was kind of anticlimactic. It didn't have the big punch I think they wanted in the end there.
Yeah.
I didn't care for
And then
it.
she dies right after.
Yeah.
How about this? we've done a really good job of tearing this movie apart. But we all said we like it, right?
Yeah, it was good enough.
So let's talk about the good stuff. I thought it was a very exciting movie.
Sorry. I do have one more complaint. Can I please? I'm sorry, Luke. I'm not trying to beat it. Look, I do still like the movie. I gave it a B. But okay, but in the beginning of the movie, you have the whole chase scene with the Falcon, and they're getting like the intel from the spy and whatever else. And then when
jumps.
the lights, that was fun.
Okay.
I didn't mind that. That's not what I'm complaining about. When they get back to like the home base for the good guys or whatever, and like Rey had been doing her training on that planet, and her and Poe. The supposedly best pilot in the whole like good guy Navy fleet or whatever you want to call it. he's sitting there complaining to her. They're going back and forth, and he's just like, we need you out there. You're the best soldier we have. And like, what I don't get is they set him up in the first of this trilogy, so episode 7. They set him up as like the pilot. Now he's going to be essentially taking over for Han Solo in that kind of role and that responsibility. And then now he sucks and he doesn't know how to do his job. They kind of diminished his character and like his whole brilliance as being an admiral, or not admiral, but like again just a good fighter pilot. And it's just like he seems so like lost for words, doesn't know what to do the whole movie, and like I think like they kind of ruined his character too. They set him up to be this great soldier, but then he just like sucks. Like I don't know.
Well, they set him up so much to replace Han Solo, like that was their intention,
right?
And when it didn't catch on, like they just didn't know what to do with him.
And then it's just like, and then apparently Rey's the better pilot than he is. It's just like, I don't get it. Like,
I'm not there with you.
I was gonna say, I don't necessarily say that exactly what the idea of it all. I mean, I think he was saying that it's the same thing like Han Solo was saying to Luke Skywalker, "We need you," but
You turned away from the mic.
I didn't want to be
did not help at all. It still got picked up.
well, Jabba Hutt made his appearance here.
At least it wasn't Jabba the
But
Butt.
here's what Poe said. He said, "You're our best fighter,"
Yeah,
which is true.
and it doesn't mean consist of
Doesn't mean
a
pilot.
pilot fighter. It means that you are our best fighter. She is the only enforcer. Like I said, she is Luke Skywalker, basically.
Well, again, I'm not just citing
Civil War.
that like that exact thing. Again, if you want to argue pilot versus actual ground fighter, whatever, I get that. You guys can get the technicality there. But what I'm saying is just like, again, he seems so inept. Like, and he's supposed to be a good pilot. Like, I don't know. I don't get it.
I can go build off of something like that. Right, that scene though. How their connection, he posed connection to Rey at that moment. It's like, you guys just met, like literally just a few days ago from whatever it is, Crane or Crack or whatever that salty planet, and that they were on in Last Jedi. They just met. They're like, oh, I guess you're Rey. Oh yeah, I'm Poe.
Let's go.
Well,
and it's like, where did their connection go? How did that
not
happen?
quite. We can believe that some time passed between the Last Jedi
You're
and
right.
this one. That's the good news about this one. That's one of my other pluses. Like there was so little time between the last two movies and this one. There's like you can
There's
imagine there
gaps.
being a few
There's
years.
a big gap.
Yeah.
Or depending on the gap itself, yes.
Yeah. So that I was happy about that. John, go ahead. You're raising your hand.
I hated. Wow, that was loud. I hated that at the end. She's like, I'm a Skywalker. No, you're not. You're just a Jedi like the rest.
Okay, everyone.
You're not
I
a
have
Skywalker.
We are really
Yeah.
tearing this movie a new one. I'm so sorry, Luke.
Everyone I have talked to that's a big Star Wars fan hated
You're
that
not a
scene.
Skywalker.
They go, I am a Skywalker. And
Like
it's
at
like,
that point, every
shut up.
Jedi should call themselves a Skywalker.
I
They should
am
be called
okay.
Skywalkers instead of Jedis.
Yeah.
I am okay with it.
It's bullcrap.
Well, I think I know what you're saying. It's okay if she goes saying I'm Rey Palpatine. Who are you?
I'm the one who killed
I could see
Palpatine, like-
that. I could see that, but it still is like Skywalker.
No, because it's like because Luke trained her and Leia kind of like mentored her, but that doesn't mean you got adopted into their family. You're just the apprentice again. Like
Okay.
at that point, hold on. At
Just
that
say you're
point,
Solo.
At that point, Anakin should have became Anakin Kenobi.
No.
Like-
Okay, I got you. Here. What is Rey's last name?
Who cares?
Palpatine.
Palpatine.
apparently.
Who raised her?
Palpatine's.
No.
Okay.
Nobody.
Well,
Nobody raised her.
Yeah,
and she didn't know
no,
she was a
okay.
Palpatine. She had no last name.
before she met the group.
Yeah.
But more than likely, it's going to be consist of Solo. When you really look at it, okay, yes, Leia is a Skywalker, but she's also Solo. And on top of it, Han Solo was mentoring her as well. And she fell in love, or I don't know if it was really in love, or that romantic
They had some kind of
relationship
relationship, yeah.
that she had
They're
with
young. They just
Ben
wanted
Solo.
to do it.
Well,
Come on.
in
That's
his
why,
word,
that's why
she
he
was
forced himself
inside.
inside her.
I'm okay.
Watch the movie, you'll figure out what I'm
I would
talking
have been okay if she said Rey Solo.
I would have been
but
okay.
Skywalker's almost like it's almost adopting the role, too.
But it's also the end of an era. Skywalkers are all gone.
Yeah. Why can't they just let him
Technically,
die?
They were
Sky-
all gone once
Le-
Luke died. Leia was a Solo.
Leia. Well, okay, yes, she
But Solo
by
has the
marriage.
blood.
By marriage.
Yeah.
But she's still a Skywalker by blood.
That's what he's getting at.
Yeah.
So she died. Skywalker's end right there. Anyways,
My point is, people make this out to be identity fraud, which it is not.
It's
it's
identity
not like
fraud.
she's.
Identity theft is not a joke,
It's not
Jim.
like she's trying to
I'm
say.
a Byther. John Byther right here.
Yeah, it's
I've
not.
known you forever. I'm a Byther.
Dude, it's not like she's trying to go in there and claim that she receives the inheritance rights.
Yeah, to what the end of the movie, right? An empty house that's just on a desert planet that nobody wants to be on.
It's not identity
That
theft.
too many
She's
people
got to
died
pick
in.
a last name. Palpatine is nothing more than a genetic technicality. So she goes with Skywalker.
What? No, she's a Palpatine. Like
The
if-
only family she ever met, she killed.
Yeah, dude, that she's overcome the dark side. Like that should be awesome to have a Palpatine like just destroy like the Sith and everything and like be good, be a Jedi. Like why can't she keep the Palpatine name and use it for good?
Yeah, because
Would you change your name if you have a Hitler?
Yes. Absolutely.
Why?
I would not want to carry on that name. He doesn't deserve to have his
It's a name.
carried on.
It's a name. It's not technically any way by any form of that way, right?
Right.
Okay, so it's part of who you are. That's a family heritage. One person doesn't make
just to
your whole
clarify,
name.
Luke is not a
wrong.
Hitler.
Here's
No,
my
he's not even Byther.
Here's my point. Given the choice
Stalin.
between... Let's imagine this. Hitler's my grandfather. I never met him. In fact, I killed him when I finally did meet him. Never met my parents, really. Or I was trained by George Washington. I'm going to pick the George Washington name.
Okay, here's
No.
Yeah.
hold on. Here's my counter argument.
Especially if there's no legal documents.
Here's my counter argument for the name thing. I just hear me out. So, did nobody else in the entire Star Wars universe realize that Kylo Ren was the son of a Solo / Skywalker? Did nobody else know that? It was only like Leia, Han, and Rey at that point, or did anyone else know? What do you guys think? Because the reason why.
do.
You
What's
weren't in
the
the
question?
Okay, I'm trying to establish a point here because did nobody else know that he was technically a Solo or a Skywalker by blood and
Luke
everything?
knew.
I have no idea.
Like,
Okay,
because
hold on.
again, what I'm saying is, if he was sitting there terrorizing the galaxy under those two names of Solo and Skywalker, then you would think that Rey doesn't want that last name because they have just been under the Empire in the foot of a Skywalker or a
And
Solo.
on top of it, Darth Vader as well.
I don't think they really knew because he's been going by Kylo Ren ever since he turned to the dark side.
Okay, again, that was going to be my counterpoint argument again with like the whole name thing. You don't want to be established as a villain, but then again, for the last decade or however long he's been in power, he's been a Solo.
She
or a
doesn't have to be a
Skywalker.
Palpatine, but she for damn sure can't be a Skywalker.
I agree.
Why? Why anything else?
No, she was not a Skywalker.
Why anything else? She was nothing else.
She was a Solo more.
I would be okay with Solo.
Her,
like I said.
Han Solo was more of a father to her than Luke Skywalker was.
Yeah.
I mean, Luke, did you not see Last Jedi? He treated her like crap.
Yeah, but here's the awkward part about that. If Han Solo is more of a father character, that means that Kylo Ren's kind of more of a brother character. And that's where it gets a little awkward.
Stepbrother,
Incest.
still not weird.
Again,
I mean, it's either that or cousins.
but adopted in this format. They're
Yeah.
not really blood. That's in this where we're talking about. He was the father figure.
Yeah.
That she's never had. Ben was that boyfriend that she just fell in love with that had that forced connection to each other.
Yeah.
That was exactly what that was.
I would have been okay if she was Solo.
I really wish Ben even stayed alive and then she became a Solo in that way. I just think that should have been happening anyways.
Another problem I have with the whole being a Skywalker thing is every like little Padawan when they just become like trained for a Jedi, they're taken at a very young age. So they've known the parents probably just as long as Rey did, but you don't see them taking on the name of their master.
Nope. True.
I guess.
You know, I know she had no last name, so it's kind of up to her to choose. But I think that the fact that they chose to let her take the Skywalker name it's so like stupid. It's so cheesy. Like it just shouldn't have happened. Like
I don't think it had to happen, but my point is people are going after it like, oh, she's trying to steal their idea. No. Like they're making a way bigger deal about it than it needs to be. They had to fit the title. They should have chosen a different title.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's what the
Yeah.
mislead is. Everyone's getting
Rise of
upset about.
Skywalker. I'm like, oh crap, there's another one. Or like Luke's not
It's-
dead
it's-
for
they,
real.
They wanted to give a
Like,
plot
right.
twist because everyone thinks that Ben Swallow is going to come back to the good side.
Did you say Ben Swallow?
I did say Ben Swallow.
Swallow.
Ben Swallow is going to come back to the good side, and he'll be the Rise of the Skywalker. And then they're like, oh, but here's a M. Night Shyamalan twist, and But again, I don't necessarily have a big
been
gripe with the whole
Shyamalan.
Skywalker thing. It's a little weird, but I don't hate it.
How about that yellow lightsaber though?
Okay, but we're gonna get back. I was gonna get to that when we start talking about the good stuff.
Well, I think
Yes.
that's what we're trying. Luke's
Yeah.
trying to get.
I'm
Trying to get there.
Yeah, I have my comments on that.
Okay, so let's
Let's
okay.
comment on it right now.
Let's go to the good because I mean I had one more bad, but I'm not even going to cover it. Let's just go to the good. Well, okay, what did we like in this movie?
Nothing. No, I'm just kidding.
As I
Kylo
was
Ren's
saying-
helmet.
As I was saying, it was very exciting. Whereas The Last Jedi was super slow moving, all done while waiting
Right.
for their gas to run out. This one was much more exciting. It was always something happening. It was
Yes.
always something driving forward the plot.
It was a journey.
It was a journey. They visited all kinds of different planets. The three main characters were together finally, which was good to see, and good to see their friendship, kind of like a new Han, Leia, and Luke.
Right.
Which is really great.
Just sucks that it was only one episode.
Yeah. So, I thought they were. What was I don't know. I don't want to like jump in and do all of mine at the same time.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
We'll just jump off of yours if they're the same points we want to talk about.
Yeah. So I thought it was super exciting. I'm glad that they talked a little bit about Leia training with Luke. I mean, we had to assume
Right.
That,
They showed
that
that,
was
yeah.
that was
Yeah.
actually
The
really
cool
great.
flashback.
I love that.
That was her daughter. I found
was-
out. I went back and looked at it, and it was actually
Yeah,
her daughter.
it
that
was.
did that scene.
her daughter was acting, yeah, but they did CGI the face.
Yes,
Well,
they
yeah,
did.
Yeah.
yeah.
But the only thing I didn't like about that consists of that part only, but which is nothing like it didn't affect the movie by
Right.
any means, because it's technically part of the legend. Is that she didn't have her orange lightsaber. Leia had an orange lightsaber,
Right.
Which I'm not mad about that by any means. I actually don't care. I mean, but it's because it's part of the legend. They already ruined that story. But
Yeah.
I did like that. I love that the fighting scene with the training in the woods with Luke. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
But I also love unlike The Last Jedi, like with Rose didn't need that big role position and things
Yeah.
like that. And that which frustrates me to no end. But that new character that Poe fell in love, that girl,
Yeah.
it's like when she showed up, it's like, okay, there's somehow he made there a connection between them two, and it made it seem real. Unlike Rose, there was they just met, and then all of a sudden she
Yeah.
kisses Finn.
I
It's
feel
just
bad
weird.
for the actress because like none of this.
Yeah,
is
she
her
did.
fault.
She did not deserve any of the hate she got off of the set
Yeah.
and everything else. 'Cause, like again, people were like, I mean, I don't know if they sent like death threats, but they were like saying some really, really messed up
Yeah.
things to her, like on Twitter or whatever else. I do not support or condone that kind of blasting. However, her character in the movie was just bad.
Yeah.
like that's just what it is.
Wait, whose? I'm sorry.
Rose.
Rose, the
Finn's like girlfriend.
Yeah.
somewhat like she kind of established
Well,
herself as that, and Finn's like, I never agreed to this.
It
Like,
kind of seemed like that in the movie too, but they didn't say
Because he
it.
clearly
or
had a
like
crush
that.
on Ray. Like,
Yeah.
Well, they did talk about in post movie interviews saying that Poe, what he wanted to tell Rey the whole movie wasn't that he loved her, but that he was force sensitive.
They can say
confirmed that.
whatever they want. They did not put that in the movie.
No, they didn't,
They
no.
didn't even hint at it in the movie. Like you can say whatever you want
What do you
after
mean?
the movie comes
Well,
out.
No, all the
no,
The
time.
hint
no,
in the
they
movie
did.
was that he was about to say,
No, all
No.
the times in the movie where like she goes off and he's like, and then he sits there in the ship with Poe and he's like, "Crap, Ren's here." Like he can sense other
Yeah,
stuff. Like
it
was late and
when he was
delayed that
telling-
he was
okay, they
force sensitive.
hinted that he's force sensitive.
Yes.
They did not hint that was what he was
Hold
going
on.
to say.
Hold on. No. In that case, in that format, something was about to happen. Everything was about something happened when got interrupted.
Yeah.
Something happened. He was sensing it with exact same time that Ray was. The quicksand. I believe there was another. I can't remember the other point. There was another point in there. But then again, and then to the point of when he knew that Ray was in trouble, he was force sensitive. Now you can't say
when Rey
yet-
died is because that's
he
what he did on the
should
ship.
become
He's
a
like,
Skywalker. I'm just kidding.
But you can't say either that that's what he was going to say, nor what he was not going to
You're
say.
telling me when you watched the movie, you thought, "Oh, he's about to tell her that he's force sensitive."
Is that what I thought
It-
initially? No, but I'm just
No.
saying if the director confirmed that after the fact, then yes. Like I'll go
My
off with what
point
the
is
director
they
said.
did a bad job of putting that point in there.
And I can agree
So
with
is that
that,
a-
but I'm
is-
just
is
saying
that a good-
that's what they're
is
saying that
this
he
the
was going
good
to tell her.
We're still on the good parts.
You guys brought it up. I'm just saying. It has nothing to do with the movie. The
No.
movie did
No,
well.
yeah.
The director's comments after, they should just not said it because they failed.
yeah.
So they failed to convey their point.
other good points of the movie. Baba
God.
Frick. the little alien guy
yeah.
messing with 3PO. Hey! My name Boba Frick.
He's like the next sensation. I mean, still behind Baby Yoda, but
he's up there. People were going crazy for Boba Frick.
The one before this. The movie
Last
before
Jedi?
this. The Last Jedi.
The porgs?
Those little, those porgs.
I always went to
I think just because that
Wookiee. Chewbacca was eating them, picking them up.
I think what turned me off to that is, I mean, like, obviously as that movie goes on, it's like the whole movie was basically like heavy on animal rights stuff and like, oh, don't eat meat and, free the animals, all that stuff, which again, I'm not going to go, beat a horse or whatever else that they were trying to establish. But like, as far as eating meat and like, I think that's why I don't care for the porgs. Like, no, I'm going to eat meat. Don't tell me what to freaking do and how to live my life. Like, I'm just like sitting there like, no, these things aren't cute to me. I want to shoot them in the face.
I thought they were cute. I mean, I'd eat one, but I think they're cute.
I don't know.
Maybe I could have one as a pet. I think
it could have been the annoying message plus the annoying sound they made is just what turned me off to the porgs.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, okay, so the little dude from the new one.
Yes, Boba Frick.
Oh, he's so funny. I love that guy.
I loved him just because he turned CPO off.
How creepy was that when C-3PO came up glowing red?
As a Sith,
That
a
was
Sith
terrifying.
droid.
The
yes.
location of the Wayfinders.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh! I was
was
like,
awesome.
they just like brought back the Terminator. Like,
Demon-possessed.
no, kill him, put him down.
No, I like when he came back on though, like, because again the movie did have good humor points too, and again speaking of C-3PO, and like they fry his brain, like, oh man, all his memory's gone, and then he comes back awake like, hello, my name is C-3PO, and then Poe looks over him, that's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
He's like introducing himself over again.
I loved actually Poe and CPO, like their reaction. It's like it literally was like Han Solo and C-3PO.
Yeah, I loved it when they were like, C-3PO is talking about the different options they have. He's like, yeah, the only way to do that would be to wipe my memory, and
you got to go to someone to jack to go hack into my systems and everything, and like put it would wipe my memory. All right, let's do that.
Yeah, let's go.
Is it kind of weird that I think in the Anakin Skywalker created C-3PO, and then he actually put in there that you cannot speak Sith?
Well, I think he just built him. Like that was definitely
That
a
must
droid
have been
design.
downloaded.
But
later.
he also pilled up the whole. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It had to have been that, if anything.
It couldn't have been
I
when
don't
he
think
was
so.
a kid.
But he
software
picked the
update.
program. He programmed him. Anakin programmed him everything. The only thing he did not do is put his armor on.
I don't know if we were told that. All we know is that he built him.
Well, no. He built everything.
I feel like
programming
building
everything.
him
And
implies that
Yeah.
like he
When
programmed.
you build,
Well, okay, but in episode 1, the very first scene is on that ship, the Trade Federation ship. There's a C-3PO unit delivering their drinks.
right.
It was a common design. It was just something he
yes.
assembled.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's
but Anakin says, "I built him."
Yeah, meaning he
Meaning
assembled.
Maybe he
He's-
just found all the
yeah,
spare parts. And
He
put
could
it
have,
together.
yeah, but doesn't mean that he could find a C-3PO or another whatever you want to call that droid and put them together, and it would have been the same programming.
Yeah, I think what
He reprogrammed them.
I think what John's getting at is that he found the base model, but he put like the actual
His personal
hardware,
program.
the personal programming into it.
Yeah,
I don't know if we're given that information.
I mean, it's all speculative.
I honestly think there
Has nothing to do with the movie we just
Yeah.
saw, but anyway.
It's just consists of that. It's how funny that you cannot
Yes.
do that
Yeah.
with the
Right.
Sith. It's
Okay.
the Sith reading itself, and it's cool. I actually did like that they brought in the Sith hologram navigator. I loved it. I thought that was awesome because it had that
pyramid scheme.
connection. Yeah, which is another connection to a Sith thing, and I loved it, as well as the connection between Luke Skywalker in the past and tells us what he was doing before the Jedi Temple, what he was actually really doing, and he was hunting. It kind of made me question, did he think that Palpatine was still alive? Why was he hunting it down?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the whole thing with Luke Skywalker after the fall of the Empire was he was just trying to bring back as much tradition as possible. He's like, it's up to me to start everything again.
He's a
Yeah.
traditionalist.
So he's getting all the history. He's like got all the books. He's trying to figure out what's going on with the dark side. Even he's not going down that path, but he's definitely trying to figure out what's the history behind it.
Right.
Right.
So on the subject of C-3PO and happy things, I have one that's like, I'm happy that it happened, but I'm also like annoyed that it happened. So it's kind of in between. Because how they wiped his memory, right? And I was like, man, that sucks, but it's a good sacrifice for the good of
The movie, yeah.
yeah, for the
Right.
good of the movie, the good
plot
of
and the
everybody.
story.
Yeah. But then for just freaking R2D2 to bring his memory back like nothing, it kind like I was like, oh cool, he's back, but I was also like, that's kind of crappy because
It makes
now
the
there's like no
sacrifice
sacrifice.
worth nothing. But
Like,
I mean,
I was both happy and annoyed that happened.
They did
Yeah.
say it.
yeah. But they did also cover that R2-D2 his memory files are still kind of bad and like they aren't perfect. And I think he even made a comment or something after he did get quote restored. Like he said a comment to him like this is my first this that and the other thing or whatever. I'm not talking about the laser battle on the spaceship because that was another comment he made. But it was something when he was back at the base and they had again like I said quote restored his memory. There was some other comment he made that kind of implied that he wasn't still fully himself. But I get what you're saying because it just takes away the factor of it. Like. Oh man, what a great sacrifice!
It was just like, oh, okay, it wasn't that
They
bad.
did say that would happen, kind of. They said, "Are you telling me that R2 doesn't back up all your memories?"
Yes.
And then he
Yeah.
says, "Oh, I wouldn't trust that."
Yeah, his
It's
phone
all
was
you could have. So.
But still, though, I agree. It's why have it in there in the first place? What is it a joke? Because I was really hoping to be like the end of C3PO and be done. I mean, no one really cared about the character.
Yeah, I'm kind of caught.
I do have a question for the audience who are listening. Why do people like C3PO over Jar Jar Binks?
they can't answer.
No, they could come up to
Call in with your answer.
No,
Jar Jar
you go
Binks.
up and actually answer that question. That's what I'm saying. But
Because
message us.
C3PO doesn't really ruin things like Jar Jar did. He's just kind of like annoying.
I still want the Jar Jar Sith Lord. All right,
Yeah, I still love that
yeah.
theory. I love that theory.
But yeah, so let's see other positive notes. I'm just like
I got one.
Okay.
I got one. When everyone finally answers the call to help and Lando brings all the other ships with him.
Oh yeah.
When it shows the aerial view of all the ships that came.
Right, just taking up the entire.
They had all the ships, even the ones from the animated series. in
yes,
there.
Yeah,
I was
it was
wondering if you were going to
amazing.
go that route. Yeah, I saw if anybody watches the Rebels, they had the Ghost in there.
Yeah.
and that was nice. It was pretty cool that they had the Ghost in there. It was actually pretty awesome. I was thinking, why now? That's my thing. Is why now? Why didn't you guys come last time when they called out?
Yeah. Also, was that Anthony Daniels piloting that one ship? Where
What?
he calls out to Lando or something. He
It's like
says,
nice flying,
Nice
Lando.
flying, yeah.
yeah. That was the guy from
Yeah.
the old classic movie. Yeah,
"Wait, is it Anthony Daniels or the old pilot?"
Whoever
Anthony
was-
Daniels is C-3PO.
Oh, I don't know about that. No, I think it was the old pilot.
Okay.
The actual
Yeah, it was
guy-
the old.
I didn't
When I
realize you were-
first saw it, I thought it was the guy who plays C-3PO.
No,
Using
no,
an
no,
American
I don't
accent.
think so.
But I do have to make a comment since we were going. You're going to ask this question. How do you feel about with Rey's lightsaber?
I love it.
New lightsaber.
I love it. It's great. I mean, she didn't need it. I really got tired of Anakin's lightsaber. Like,
Yeah,
they made
that-
such a big deal
It's
about
still
it.
there.
It's like, okay, fine. And finally, we get a new
blue.
lightsaber. 2 new lightsabers in this
It
movie.
finally gets buried.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, it was super cool to see that she took her staff. I'm guessing
That's what they were saying.
Made
That
it
she
into a
took parts
lightsaber.
of the staff.
Yeah.
because it's got the same ending.
Yeah.
I just wish they showed a little bit more with it because now when you go into any store or to buy a lightsaber and anybody who's going to buy a lightsaber, you're going to go look, oh, here's Anakin's oh, no, it says it's Rey's, and
Yeah.
come on, you can
mean,
give her her own lightsaber. It's not Luke's lightsaber anymore, it's Anakin's. Anakin built that.
Yeah.
Luke has his own green lightsaber. Rey should have her own. She has an orange lightsaber. There's never been an orange lightsaber in the history of Star Wars. Now there is.
Yeah.
Besides in the Legends.
And hey, Leia's lightsaber was pretty sick looking too.
Oh, it was pretty cool.
There has
Yeah.
been a yellow lightsaber in Star Wars.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Orange. I'm at orange. Sorry. Yes.
Hers is yellow. It's not orange.
Was it yellow or
Okay,
orange?
hold on.
It's-
We're talking just movies. You're talking about.
I'm
right?
talking about movies.
Strictly movies.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the
Oh.
and the cartoons
Yeah.
itself. Legends,
cartoons, there's the yellow one.
Legends wise, Leia was the first to have the orange, but in the cartoons, there's no one who had the orange. It's always been yellow. Yellow is the knights of the temples. No one else has had them because orange symbolizes of a certain type of power.
Right. Okay.
Of
So you're
the
saying
Force.
she's the first Jedi. To
She
have
is the first
I think-
Jedi in this story along the
first
line
canon.
of we see that of the situation.
I think Rey's is supposed to be yellow.
I don't know.
It's hard
I think
to
it
tell.
is
It's kind of in
supposed to be
between. I don't know if they're gonna make a distinction.
I don't
ever.
know because they have not done anything consistent yet of consisting of George Lucas's films.
Yeah.
the
Right.
yellow symbolizes itself as a knight who is protecting the Jedi temple.
Yeah.
The blue is a warrior. The green is the Force. White is actually when you turn a blood red crystal back into the light Force.
Right.
It turns it white. Red, you turn any crystal into blood red because you put your anger and your hatred in it and turns it blood red.
Yeah.
That's the consist of the changing of the crystal. But the rest will choose you. You don't choose the crystal, the color of the crystal. The crystal chooses you by the force of the power in you.
Yeah, and if you guys want to see a cool lightsaber, go watch The Mandalorian. No spoilers.
Yeah.
Go check it out.
Well, I mean, if they've seen the Clone Wars, they've seen it.
Yeah, we're talking live. We're talking live. Live
I ain't
action.
gonna lie, that is pretty cool though. They
Yeah.
they brought that in there. I freaked out. I geeked out.
Go check it out. We're not
hard.
going to tell you what it is. We're not going to tell you what color or who has it, but go check it out.
I mean, if you've seen the Clone Wars, you know what it is.
But there are a lot of people who have never seen the animated series who only watch the movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
So
only,
to
I'm
me-
only
Also
watching live
watch the
action.
Yeah,
animated
to me,
series, though.
to me, they're still. I know they're all tied together in the timeline, but I still see them as very much separate.
I still look. I just
Yes. I mean, Disney has actually done pretty good to bringing it all together, though. I give Disney on props on that. Like Rogue One, they brought in the rebels.
Right.
So I think that Disney's doing a good job for that. You know, I'll give them at least something good.
all this being said, when Disney starts branching off into like other kind of universes and it's not so focused on just Skywalker Jedi saga stuff, I freaking desperately want to see a Gray Jedi movie or a Gray Jedi story.
Actually, there is-
rumors
yes.
of a High Republic movie coming up, movie or trilogy.
I'm excited for the
And
Obi-Wan
and they
series.
actually are
Yes,
in
that
talk.
too.
They are in talk, which I knew. I told you. I told you this was going to happen. Hold on.
He's trying to poop.
No, yes. I can't.
Brain fart.
I'm going to get his name. I only think of John Wick.
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves is playing as Rave. He's playing as Rave.
Oh yeah, I heard.
That is consist of the Old Republic. He is both a Grey Jedi. He is a
Yeah.
Grey Jedi.
Yes.
He was a Sith turned. a Jedi turned Sith, and a Sith turned back to the Jedi.
Yes.
And he uses both.
The
He
Sith,
is a Grey
the Sith
Jedi.
killed his alien puppy, and so he switched back to
Yep,
Exactly.
there- exactly.
There you
I think
go.
this is a brilliant move. They're like everybody's been wanting to see
Clean slate.
the
you know,
best of
washed.
the Republic, and
Right.
the
Yeah.
Jedi Order,
Yep.
and finally they're
actually gonna
seriously
do it
toying
justice.
with the idea.
Yep.
And it's gonna be so good.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've thoroughly covered our Star Wars saga and franchise and everything else. Looking forward to the future. Should be great. But that brings us to the last segment of the podcast, Luke. And what is that?
I don't know, Dylan. Do you know?
John, do you know?
I don't know.
John, do you know?
I don't know.
Somebody's got to know.
It's sports.
Spurts.
Oh, you can't do it like that. What is it?
Sports! Bing, bang, boom. Here we are talking about the sports. All right. So there have been a lot of coaching changes around the NFL. So I wanted to highlight a few of them that we've so far confirmed because a lot of people got fired and canned. Go figure. After a losing season, your franchise doesn't want you anymore.
Been exciting.
Yeah, it has. So I'm going to talk about some good ones, or maybe not good ones, but at least good hires, I should say. And then I got some questionable ones, and then we will deep dive because once again, we do have John on the podcast. He's an avid Cowboys fan, and so we're going to talk about his team's future and where they're going to be in the next season.
I can't wait. It's such a fun
Oh, boy.
conversation.
All right, so first up on the plate, we have Ron Rivera being hired as the head of the Redskins coaching staff. I think this is going to be a good hire because, again, I was so surprised that the Panthers let him go. Like, he did well enough with that team, and I feel like, again, they had a lot of key bad injuries that kind of cost them a winning season. I wouldn't necessarily put that on the head of Ron Rivera. I said that when he first got fired and we heard the news. I think he should have stayed there in Carolina and continued on for the next season at least, and then maybe cut him next season if they don't get to the playoffs at least. But all that being said, he's now the coordinator or the head coach for the Redskins, and he did pick up. I don't remember who the defensive coordinator was, but it's supposedly someone that's really good. So the Redskins, if they get Chase Daniels in the next draft, they could be a powerhouse on defense because I know both of them are defensive mindset coaches. So
Yeah.
it can be pretty intense. We talked about the NFC least this season because, again, a lot of teams, no offense, John, they just didn't perform as well as we wanted them to. But again, it's like the next season with again the coaching changes we'll get into. I think it can be a strong competition between a lot of the division in the NFC East. And then you have the Panthers. They hired Matt Rule. He's a college coach. He's now coming into the NFL. He's going to get his first head coaching job, and we'll see how he performs. Here is where things get weird and questionable because I don't know about these. Kevin Stefanski, Stefanski, whatever the heck his name is, he got hired as the Vikings. He was the Vikings offensive coordinator. He's now the head coach of the Browns. I don't know if you saw the last game with the Vikings versus the 49ers. They got destroyed, and their offense performed horribly. Like, their offense was not that good, like, when it comes to, like, scoring and everything. Like, I didn't really see anything that was crazy. Like, I think they got high scores against bad teams during the regular season. I didn't really see them be consistent, though, throughout the whole thing. I question why he got a head coaching position as opposed to just another offensive coordinator with different weapons. Like, I don't get the sense in that one.
I agree. I think he would have been a better fit as an offensive coordinator for the Browns than a head coach itself.
Yeah.
But to your defensive coordinator for Jacksonville?
Yes.
I mean, not Jacksonville. For Redskins?
Redskins.
It was Jacksonville's old head coach, Jack Del Rio.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, ooh, shoot, man. Like, they could make a case. I'm not saying they'll be good. They might get a wild card spot.
They
though.
still
we'll
don't
see
have.
what happens.
They still don't have the weapons built just quite
Yeah.
yet for that team. I mean, they still have the Cowboys and the Eagles.
They definitely need
the Eagles and the Cowboys are going to fight for years. It's just whenever the Giants and the Redskins get their heads out of the rear end and decide what they want to compete with us.
Yeah, the Giants will still be bottom rung, and we'll get into that in a second because of their head coaching hires. But I think the Redskins could maybe peak, or play peekaboo with it for a little while and keep people guessing. Like, oh, maybe this can, they can turn around the franchise after a while. But yeah, so like we just talked about, the Giants, they hired Joe Judge, who was a special teams or the Patriots wide receiver coach. Like, dude, he's not even an offensive coordinator. He's not a defensive coordinator. He never had any head coaching experience. He's like the bottom rung dude.
And Patriots receivers are notoriously
They were garbage.
bad.
They were garbage this season.
What makes them not think of just going for, what is his name, Josh McCoy or Josh
Anybody?
McCann
Anybody else?
for the Patriots actually offensive coordinator?
Oh, Daniels, Chase Daniels.
Yeah, there we
Yeah.
go. Why not him? Or better yet,
no,
there was the
I got my chases confused.
Oklahoma head coach that they could have taken. He too. Well, then I think he wanted to stay in Oklahoma actually.
Right.
So that's not a bad on that, but. You had so many bigger opportunities. And Jason Garrett, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Jason Garrett would have been a better
taken him,
fit.
yeah.
What's funny? Yeah, what's funny about that is the Giants actually reached out to the Cowboys and they asked him like, "Hey, is it okay if we go after Jason Garrett for like?" But again, they don't want him as the head coach. They have him as something else. I'm like, why Joe Judge? What did he do? Like
It's such a random.
out of nowhere,
Random
dude. It's
hire.
like you had so many. You could have got someone from one of the college teams, one of the other offensive or defensive coordinators throughout the entire NFL league of 31 other teams, and you chose the wide receivers coach. What the frick? Like,
Yeah.
bad.
Not just a wide receiver, but for the Patriots.
Yeah, who just to again not be good at offense. And again, they already got knocked out of the playoffs.
It was bad.
So that was just weird. But speaking again, this is where we're gonna get into bright futures here for hopefully for John's Cowboys. How do you feel about Mike McCarthy being named the head coach of your Cowboys?
I'm okay with it. I actually do like it. I'm actually in more than most people actually agree. I love this pick. I don't believe in the reason why I say this is because Jerry Jones has always been the problem with the Cowboys. I will say that forever.
He's too involved.
He's too involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But in the hiring of any of his coaches and so on and so forth. But this year alone, ever since he got McCarthy's done the hiring, not Jones. Jones has not done anything whatsoever consist of it. He has only agreed to it and accepted it and say, you know what, I like this decision. Let's go with it. Whatever you want. He finally realizes that this is what we want. Because Jason Garrett didn't hire the coaches around him. Jones did. Not saying Jason Garrett would have been the problem, was not a problem. Jason Garrett was the problem. I mean, he has the losing record by far, and I don't think he's that great of an offensive coordinator in the first place.
He would do a lot of mediocre seasons of like 8-8 and
exactly.
Occasionally 13-3.
Exactly. So, but Mike McCarthy, what does he have? Okay, he is the second winningest coach in the league right now, behind Bill Belichick. Okay, and he played for the Packers and things like that. Don't get me wrong. The Packers' problems was Aaron Rodgers. I will say that from day one because he's an overrated quarterback.
I can't believe they let him go.
I don't either.
I didn't see any reason for it. Yeah.
There was no. The reason why they did is because of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers didn't want him. He thought he was too washed up all over and things like that. This is what I'm going to say right now. If Mike McCarthy wins a Super Bowl with the Cowboys before Aaron Rodgers wins a Super Bowl without him, we'll always say that Aaron Rodgers is washed up and never was anything.
Yeah.
I will never go so far as to say Aaron Rodgers is washed up. I'm sorry. I know you guys say he's overrated. Will I say he's been performing to what everyone holds him in such high regard to? No, not by any means. However, I do feel that, like, again, when the last couple of seasons, I still thought it was a terrible move for them to get rid of Jordy Nelson, because for some reason they were a great wide receiver quarterback tandem. It was always Jordy Nelson and Aaron Rodgers getting like 2 touchdowns minimum per game. And what sucked with again, when they were still under Mike McCarthy, and I think Skip and Shannon did talk about this on their podcast, they were citing that the fact that the defense was so bad. It's like, again, you'd have Aaron Rodgers get into these shootouts, but the defense would just get him in such holes. It's just like he can only do so much. And so it's like, granted, did he perform, like I said, to the standard that everyone holds him to? Putting him up there with, like, anyone who's won multiple Super Bowls and everything else. No, he has not. But I will never say he's washed or garbage by any means.
It's like the 2010 Super Bowl, when they won the Super Bowl in 2010. They had the best defense. They had literally one of the best defense in the league at that time.
Yeah, right. And it was one of the few years they did, but everything else had been just garbage. It's like, they're, even for as high powered as our offense was, they could only do so much to overcome.
But who was the high power offense? Was it Aaron Rodgers or was it Mike McCarthy? It was his offense.
Right, but I mean, again,
he had it with Brett Favre.
That's
what I'm trying to get with the whole thing.
And again, what I'm citing with the Skip and Shannon's podcast or whatever, Undisputed, they were talking about how, again, they would have, or Mike McCarthy tried, like, he would try to get pieces together and, like, but they weren't willing to invest. Like, that's what it was. It was more so Mike McCarthy found issues with GM/ownership because he was trying to get something done on defense, but they weren't willing to invest in it. They kept going offense, and that's what essentially screwed them over. But now, like, look at it. They finally started getting some key pieces on defense, and granted, they've won some ugly games here and there this season, but I mean, shoot, they're the number 2 seed in the NFC, so, and they're in the playoffs. So it's like, once someone finally started listening, I think Mike McCarthy he did get his short end of the stick, and again, there was all that bad blood between him and Rodgers, so he lost that battle because Aaron Rodgers is the face of the franchise. But again, I don't know. It's TBD, not TBD. It can be a back and forth issue, but we'll see what happens with it.
Yeah, and he wasn't on vacation either. When he got fired, he wasn't on vacation. What he decided to do is that he wanted to sit down and watch the training or the videos and things like that.
Yeah,
that he wanted to try to do, and that's what he was sitting around and watching to do it himself. So he was taking notes at the exact same time during this whole entire season. And then he got a job with the Dallas Cowboys. Now he has a future. So I see a bright future with the Cowboys, and now with Dak Prescott and the running game.
Yeah,
because that's another thing. Aaron Rodgers never had a running game.
Don't
tell me Eddie Lacy was a good running back.
No, not Eddie Lacy. I'm talking the last couple of seasons they've had Aaron Jones. Yeah,
that just started, but Mike McCarthy
Aaron
didn't
Jones,
have
Ty
that.
Montgomery, both those guys were looking
Montgomery.
not too bad.
Don't get me started with Montgomery.
Oh, come on,
Montgomery
he
wasn't
did
bad.
well when he played. The problem was he got injured.
He wasn't a good running back.
He was good enough.
He was
for
an
someone
average
like
NFL.
Aaron Rodgers.
He was average.
His
that's
reputation.
The thing. That's the thing. He's an average running back.
Here's my thing with Aaron
guy.
Rodgers. A lot of people try to squeeze him into the greatest of all time quarterback talk. And it's like, no, he cannot be there. He has had some outrageously good seasons, yes. But those were all over 5 years ago. When was the last time he had a really good season? It's just, he's a good quarterback. He's better than just about anybody else in the league. Is he great? Is he one of the greatest of all time?
Who's on the mantles right now as the quarterbacks of all time?
Greatest quarterbacks of all time?
Yeah, who's on the mantles?
I'm going to put Brady up there.
Okay, that's one of the three.
I think Peyton Manning should be up there.
There's two.
I think Drew Brees even
There's
could be
three.
up there.
That's 3 people who are dominant in all of it. I don't see Aaron Rodgers. Brett Favre was a better quarterback than he was. And I don't agree with the Aaron Rodgers talk. I think Brett Favre will kill him every day.
Yeah, I think I'm
Brett Favre is
I'd put Brett Favre above Peyton Manning. I know.
Really?
Because I went through.
He hates Peyton Manning, guys.
Look, I don't hate Peyton Manning. Like we can all admit that he rode the defense of the Broncos to the second Super Bowl that he won. He was horrible that season.
I will agree.
I think it was a 1-to-2 touchdown interception ratio.
But can I squeeze this in really quick?
Go for it.
That Super Bowl win he didn't deserve. The Super Bowl loss to the Seahawks, he didn't deserve that either. So, I'm okay with just saying, well, that's payback for losing to the Seahawks.
The best offense went up against the best defense. Do you really think that? I mean,
it's because they had no defense at all that year. The Broncos had no defense.
Okay, but
if they would have had some sort of defense, they could have
Seattle had a good offense and a great defense.
But so my point being, okay, John, does Brett Favre have 2 rings or 1?
He has 1.
He has 1. Okay,
he has 1 ring.
Well, so if we void the second ring that again Peyton Manning rode to the Super Bowl on the defense, like I said, if you actually look at their touchdown interception ratio, not Drew Brees, Brett Favre played, I think, 4 or 5 more seasons than Peyton Manning did. And if you actually do the math on their interception touchdown ratio, it's literally like 0.64% or something, 0.6 less for Peyton Manning versus Brett Favre. So he could have, if he played in the league longer, he would easily run away with the touchdown, or the interception ratio between the two quarterbacks. And again, Brett Favre played 4 more seasons than Peyton Manning did.
That's why Tom Brady's the GOAT.
Whatever. Anyway,
How many MVPs does he have?
He's got a lot. I mean,
No,
Tom
he doesn't.
Brady, I think he only has one.
only one for
I think he has
overall
2,
league.
actually.
I'm thinking of Super Bowl.
I think he has.
No, he might have 3 actually.
Super Bowl
2 or
MVPs. I know
3.
he has.
He got 2007 for sure. He got, what was it, last season or 2 years ago?
Wasn't last season. Last season was Mahomes. I think it was
yeah,
the year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
2
Mahomes
years
was the
ago.
year
I
after.
think he has one more other than that. He might have 3.
Yeah, I think so. But that's another topic that a lot of people talk about is what makes you the GOAT? What makes you the greatest of all time? The Super Bowls or the stats? It's like
Right.
Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice is one of the best of the receivers, and I don't like the guy because he's a Niners, but I like that he has the records, he has stats, he has all that stuff.
That's why I go with
And
Brady.
that's the reason why I say Tony Romo is the best of the Cowboys quarterbacks. He has no rings, but he has the stats to prove it.
That's why I go with Tom Brady. He's got both.
He doesn't have the stats.
He does have the stats.
No, he doesn't.
We talked about. Go listen to the other podcast.
Me and him did go into a whole deep dive about Tom Brady.
I'll have
but-
to talk to you after.
Yeah,
We,
all right.
we could talk. It's not going to happen, though. You
All
will
right,
not win
so-
that battle.
So moving forward, again, we did discuss coaching changes. That's been the bigger news, mostly throughout the weeks here in the future of the playoffs and the NFL and everything. But we are going to get in now to the actual championship conference games for next weekend, and it is set in stone now. The Titans will be visiting the Kansas City Chiefs.
Should be fun.
Yeah. So again, the Houston Texans, man, I don't know what happened. They came out strong in that game, 24-0 by the first quarter, and it was just all Kansas City from there because they came back 51-31.
Don't
It was-
piss off Mahomes.
I know.
Man, and like I said, it's like they got too cocky. They put the Chiefs back in that game, man. I was watching some of the plays and the miscues. Oh God, it was terrible. But sorry, Uncle. I was rooting for your Texans to win. I didn't think they would, but I was rooting for them. They just didn't. They caught an L. So for the next week, AFC Championship matchup, like I said, it's going to be the Tennessee Titans versus Kansas City Chiefs. Luke, who do you pick?
I'm going with the Chiefs.
Riding the Chiefs with the high-powered offense?
Yeah, and I know we've talked about this a little bit
Briefly, yeah.
You talked about the Ravens and that the
Titans embarrassed them.
the Titans defense was just a little too much, even for someone like Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I am never going to admit that a defense is too much for Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
I will never admit that. I think he can overcome any defense.
All right.
And I don't think I don't know. They've been surprisingly good in this postseason. The Titans, I'll give them that.
Yeah.
I think it's not quite representative of the team they actually are. I think they're having a couple good games, and the other teams had a couple bad games.
I mean, granted, again, we talked about the whole Patriots and why they should have lost that game, so it wasn't so much of an upset. I mean, still
Yeah.
to beat them at home is still pretty challenging.
Yeah, so I'm okay
but,
with that.
But again, for them to still go in and knock off the number 1 seed that should have steamrolled everyone else,
Yeah.
I mean, they handed them big L. I mean,
28-6.
16-point win.
That was
And the fourth
crazy.
quarter.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous.
So yeah. So okay, we got Luke picking the Chiefs. John Guest, who do you pick?
I'm going with the Titans. The reason why I'm going with the Titans is not because I hate the Chiefs or anything like that. The Titans have not won a Super Bowl,
Okay.
and they did
But,
knock off the number
so
one.
you're picking with your heart. Who do you based off statistics and everything else? Who do you think will win the game?
I'm going off the playoffs.
Okay.
I'm going off playoffs stats.
Okay.
I'm not going off the season stats.
Okay.
Okay.
Because postseason's a whole new season.
It's a whole new season. Titans have this.
Okay.
Mahomes and Reed is not good in the playoffs. They haven't. Reed, he's only been to the
up
Super Bowl
51 points.
once. Yeah, he put up 51 points against the
they have
Houston
a stat
Texans.
Out of his 27 postseason appearances, he's never made it to the Super Bowl.
He's only made it once.
Never
Andy Reid.
won. Yeah.
One.
He's never had Patrick Mahomes.
Like, that's true.
He had Madden. Oh, yeah, not Madden. Darren McFadden. He was a good quarterback, too.
Not as good as
I thought
Patrick
McFadden was a
Mahomes.
running back.
Well, you're
No, he wasn't. He was a quarterback. He was a
Okay,
quarterback for
he's-
the Eagles.
Well,
But no, everyone says Mahomes is the guy coming out of the aliens. Like he's an alien because there's how good he is. I don't get on that hype. I really don't. Lamar Jackson is the same way. Lamar Jackson was the one that was dominant at the whole time. So I'm just gonna go with the Titans to picking the whole thing and everything. So
Okay, so so you're predicting 2 weeks in the future. All right, John, coast between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tennessee Titans. Who do you pick in this matchup?
Hey, John.
I know, poor John. He's been sitting there this whole time while we've been discussing sports. I was trying to get to him. I love you, baby.
You know what's the saddest part is now that we're here, I've got nothing.
What? You had all this time to prepare.
You know, here's why I think I have nothing. I've been pondering this whole time y'all been talking.
Okay.
The more narrowed down it gets, the less funny, inventive ones I can get because it's the same damn teams every week.
That's true.
So I think for today, Patriots are in it. So that's different for once. But I honestly got nothing.
That means you just got to pick.
You got to pick?
You got to pick something, man.
Okay, fine. Kansas.
Hey.
Okay, so we got 2 Chiefs. Gosh, man. It's so hard because, again, Patrick Mahomes, again, you can't count him out at any point during the game. He was down 24-0 and came back to win it handily. But, again, I think something's going on with the Titans. I think I'm going to remember the Titans this season. I'm going to ride with them. It's going to be tough, but like John said, it's kind of going to be a combined stats with pick of the heart. Like, since they don't have any rings, I am rooting for them to go on and win the whole thing, but it'll be tough. I'm not saying it's going to be easy by any means because, again, the Kansas City Chiefs have a dominant offense and their defense, leaves it a little bit to be desired, but they've stepped up their game a little bit, so we'll see what happens. It's going to be a great match.
I think just because they don't have rings is not a good reason to
I'm with you.
Say I wish they should win. There's a reason they don't have any.
I'm
with you.
Again, I'm backing this up with stats, though. They have destroyed, again, the Baltimore Ravens set the NFL record for the first team ever to average 200 rushing yards and 200 passing yards each game. Like, that's insane to do. They had they had a lot of high-powered weapons. They had a great quarterback. They had great running backs, great receivers. They had everything, almost the same thing with a mobile quarterback in Lamar Jackson that Kansas City has and Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, and I told Luke this, he's definitely got a better throwing arm, but I mean, essentially the two teams' offenses are kind of identical because they have big playmakers at any point during the game.
Yeah.
But the Tennessee Titans have come in and destroyed people during this postseason. So it's not that I'm just saying like, oh well, I want them to win. Like, no, they could potentially win this game. And I mean, again, it wouldn't be the first time they upset the number 1 seed handily. Like I said, 16-point deficit to.
It definitely scares me.
Yeah, it's a worrisome matchup, and I think it could give them a run for their money. So it's not going to be. I don't think it'll be a blowout win by any means. Like the Tennessee Titans can actually handle business, and I think they can go to the Super Bowl. So
what do you think about the 49ers then? Are they legitimate? Do they have a chance against either Green Bay or Seattle?
Well, the way it's looking right now, Green Bay did come out hot, and they scored a touchdown on their first drive, their first possession of the game, and they held Seattle to a 3-and-out. But then Seattle just returned the favor and held them to a 3-and-out. So it's tough. Whoever wins, I think out of these two teams, the Seahawks would definitely give a better shot to beat the 49ers at home. But I don't think, whether it's Green Bay or Seattle, I don't think that they will beat the 49ers at home. Like, I don't know what it is, man. The 49ers, again, I wanted the Saints to go, but then they had the crapshoot against the Vikings. But, again, I don't see any other team that could have put up numbers against them the way Drew Brees would have. I don't see it happening. I don't see the upset against the 49ers at home.
Yeah.
I actually will say I think it's going to have to be Seattle to beat the Niners. I don't think Green Bay will beat the Niners.
No, they got beat down handily this season.
Seattle is the only team that can beat the Niners. Right now, as we speak, in the NFC right now. That's the only team. My prediction, either way, I still think the AFC is going to take the Super Bowl this year.
So whether it's Kansas City or the Titans.
Yeah, either way. Kansas City has a better high-power offense. I'll be straight up honest. I would love to see a Kansas City versus Niners. That'd be a good Super Bowl.
I'd be happy.
Yeah. I
think even Kansas City versus Green Bay was the very first Super Bowl matchup. So that could be interesting, too.
That would be a good one.
It'll be 100 years in the making, and then that comes back to, like,
my goodness.
from game.
But
Yeah,
it'd be a revenge of Kansas City.
In all fairness, though, there's not 100 Super Bowls.
Well, right, but again, just 100-year history of the NFL.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, all right, John, if you have... The 49ers are for sure going. So think pickaxes, think crazy old men going for gold versus either the Seahawks or the Cheeseheads, Green Bay Packers. Who do you think will win in that matchup?
Okay, well, I think Green Bay is going to beat the Seahawks today, but I don't think they're going to beat the 49ers.
No?
No.
Okay. So what would describe the onslaught or the beatdown that'll happen?
Well, okay, so think of a cheese plate. right?
Okay.
You use that little like pronged knife to like pick up the little pieces of cheese.
Oh, for like fondue, right?
Yeah, dude, the Niners got pickaxes. They're giant pronged fork things.
Oh gosh.
Like they're gonna have no problem swooping up that cheese.
I respect it.
This is our appetizer for his wedding.
I don't know. Part of me, I was almost thinking, maybe swoop the cheese can be the phrase
Swoop
of
the cheese.
Oh gosh. All right. Well,
How about if they make it next week? Then we'll do swoop the cheese.
swoop the
There
cheese?
we go.
Okay.
Cheese.
All right. Yeah. If the Packers somehow make it, and again, because I don't see it happening, I don't want the 49ers to go for whatever reason. I want either Seattle or Green Bay, but I don't see them beating the 49ers. But if they do, yeah, I think we can go for swoop the cheese.
Swoop the cheese.
All right. Well, that does it here for the Some Things Podcast, episode 23. Hope you all enjoyed it. And, we hope to hear from you soon on the social medias. John's got Twitter. Luke's got Instagram. I got Facebook.
See you guys.
Love you.
Later.
Bye.